Hi, hello, everybody. Welcome to Directly to You. It's the FanatixFour podcast. Usually, it's every week. This is the 133rd week that we actually did the podcast because it's the 133rd episode. I'm AJ of
Look at that.
FanatixFour. I'm joined by Parker, also of FanatixFour. How you doing?
Namaste. Now I'm good.
Yeah, man. You can help support this channel by going to youtube.com/FanatixFour, twitch.tv/FanatixFour, give $4.99, or Twitch Prime. It's not called Twitch Prime anymore. It's called
Is it not?
Prime Gaming. No,
Oh,
it's Prime
yeah,
Gaming.
yeah.
If you have Amazon Prime, you can link it to your Twitch account. You get a free sub. You got to renew it every month, but it's fine because I stream every week at least once, but I've been streaming average more than that because it's like when some, like this week, my plan for the at least one planned stream, or I guess next week, technically.
Gotcha, right, yeah.
Wednesday. Falcon hit me up and he was like, here's this online Smash tournament. You want to do this? I'm like, yeah, I'm down. So I'm going to stream that and we'll see how far I get in the online Smash tournament. Maybe I'll win. Who knows?
Sure.
But if you don't, well, actually, hold on. I've already broke down all the perks, right? You get access to supporters on Discord. You get gaming time with us. You get free Switch keys time.
I'll note while you were saying that. Yeah. While you were saying that, I set a good example for everybody by using
you renewed
my Twitch Prime, and I renewed it.
Your
there
Prime
it is.
It's like, oh shoot, effective. It's effective. That housekeeping is. But you can also access our non-supporters only Discord by going to the link in the description, and you can talk to people. And Duncan's there. I'm gonna give him his shout out back.
That's right.
Over our hiatus, I reflected and I decided Duncan deserves a second chance. So Duncan would be like, yo, and Brad's also there. 2 shout outs in one.
Look at that.
There it is. But other than that, what games are you playing?
Man, I'm playing some games,
I saw one of the games that you're playing.
I'm curious. Was it Astral Chain?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one. So yeah, Mitch got it for Christmas last year, I think. And he played literally the opening scene, like the motorcycle section, and he was like, nope, feels like an arcade game. I don't want to play this. Which is like, I mean, that part, yeah, it does. That's not the whole game, but whatever. And then, I mean, I told him since I'm like, that's literally just the opening to my understanding, but you can do whatever you want. And he was like, yeah, maybe I'll play it at some point, but you can borrow it if you want. You can play it. And I was like, sure. So all that to say, he loaned it to me maybe 2 months ago, and I finally actually started playing it. How far am I into it? I think I'm on the third chapter, which I feel like is the first one where you're like, it's still a little tutorial-y, but you're pretty much on your own, as far as like, there's not other characters carrying you and stuff like that. Do you remember how far you got? I don't remember.
About that point.
Okay.
Because I mean, I had the same like trajectory through that game that I did Xenoblade Chronicles X, where it's like, I know this is a tutorial, it's going to be like a grind, but eventually it's going to like widen out and be like the game it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I got to that point, I'm like, not worth, and I was like, all right, I'm done, I'm out.
Yeah.
So
it seems like the mission bit. So here's my thoughts about it. The gameplay itself is quite fun. Like, I enjoy the combat and all that kind of stuff. The missions seem to be split up, at least this one is, in like a detective side where you're like gathering clues and doing all that, and then like more combat and exploration kind of side, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I enjoy the second part of that quite a bit. I'm not a huge fan of the detective side, and like I see how for some people that would be a lot of fun, but for me, there definitely were some parts where it just felt like, I think I talked to everybody in this
like
section.
Fetch questy and
a little bit, yeah. So like we'll have to see if maybe it's one of those things I just have to get more used to, where like, because this was the first one, I just wasn't super accustomed to it. So I'll let you know how it goes after some of the other ones. But yeah, and it's like pretty talky for me at the same time. But again, it could be one of those things that like once it gets further into the game and I enjoy the gameplay side of it so much and it like picks up speed a little bit, that it's all feels worth it, and that the first couple hours, that whole thing, like that's, everybody says that pretty much about Hollow Knight, where the first 2 hours you're kind of like, what? I'm having fun, but I'm not sure where to go and blah, blah, blah. But like for me, it was 100% worth it. Like I would play those 2 hours million times again to be able to play the rest of it for the first time. But that's an exaggeration. I would not play it for a million times. So, but yeah, it's fun. I'm enjoying it, but it's not like my favorite game ever or anything like that yet. So we'll see how it pans out. But that's me with Astral Chain. Yeah.
Nice. I've been playing, let's see. I played Rogue Company. I'm playing that. Tried to stream it yesterday. Did not work. Didn't work. It was just not loading.
Oh, interesting. So I dropped off like right as it seemed like Bob's was about to be done or something like that. Like he was going through the tutorial stuff. And then, what happened after that?
Mine just wouldn't load. Mine was loading the whole time, and he was playing, and his loaded for a while because like the game in general on Switch takes a long time to load. But
when you say the game, you mean like from like clicking it on the Switch to loading into the game, or you mean like loading a map? Like loading to actually play,
loading a map to start playing, and it would like get to a point where I would hear like the voice chat and like the characters in the game and stuff like that, but I couldn't see anything. And there was even one game that I tried to queue into where I could press buttons and my controller would react to me pressing the button, whereas like I would get vibrate, like it would vibrate and stuff. Like, so I was like, that's strange. I nuked my SD card today, so we'll see if it was a me specific thing because Bob loads in fine, Max loaded in fine, but for me it just straight up won't load for a very long period of time. When I was playing with Max, it would like take, I want to say like 2 to 3 or not even like 2 rounds for me to like fully load in and I would be able to play the game. Or for Bob, he played through entire games and it wouldn't load in for me. So we're like, well, time to go.
Yeah.
But luckily, I have more than a Switch. So like I'm still down for the game. I do like the game.
Yeah.
But the load time stuff is unacceptable. We'll see if it's fixed by me reformatting my SD card and reinstalling everything. But that load time stuff is freaking wild. And it's like it's not like it happens in any other game. Because like even if it is an SD card specific thing, like why would that game specifically take that much longer to load? You know? Like there's no other game that idles in the loading screen for half an hour, you know? Like so that stuff's kind of wild. But like I said, fun game, just when I can actually play it. Other than that, Smash Brothers, obviously.
Yeah, right.
Minecraft Steve, trash. Not a good character. But
do you think it's one, I feel like I saw you say this somewhere online too, but like it's one that a couple of people will get like pretty good with him.
Right.
And I mean, kind of like Hero, sort of, right?
Yeah. So, like, that's the thing that a lot of people are saying, where it's like, he's a really advanced character. It's going to take a long time to understand him and stuff like that. It's like, more often than not, characters like that in practice are bad. There's just people that are really good.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like, so it's like,
there's an element of like unpredictability with it. Like, the more, I feel like the more variety that a character has, the more you can just leverage that for like people not knowing the matchup well for one thing. And then like, them being able to just like surprise you with just weird stuff because the character is quirky. But that doesn't necessarily mean like mechanically the character is like has all these, better frames where they can do something, whatever. But
so the thing about him specifically, that like his basic tools are bad. So there's like stuff where, and even his gimmicks aren't enough to make up for it, which is another bad thing. But it's like he has like some of the worst stats in the game in terms of speed. And if you're slow in Smash Bros. Ultimate, chances are you're bad. Like there's definitely characters that are slow in some areas, but they're fast in others. Like Wolf, he has really slow ground speed, or not really slow, but pretty slow ground speed. But he moves really fast in the air, so he can compensate by short hopping and aerial and into people and stuff like that. But this character is just generally slow. He has no good like tools to be like, if you're in a combo, he has no tools to get out of that combo. All his hitboxes are really small and too specific. So it's like he's really good if you're winning, but that can be said for every character in the game. So it's like he's pretty bad. And even the stuff like the gimmicky stuff, right, where it's like building the block wall or whatever, like the paid actor BS that Sakurai did against Pikachu, where he built up the wall and Pikachu couldn't recover. Pikachu could have quick attacked to ledge and he would have grabbed
right. Okay, yeah.
Or Pikachu could have went under and up from under the blocks, or he could have went above the block. There's just a lot of stuff he could have did that he didn't do in the video to be like, look at how cool this is.
Yeah.
You know?
And I guess, I mean, to some degree, especially with this one, it does feel like it goes to show that the character isn't necessarily like, obviously it'll get used some in competitive play, but like it definitely feels like this is one that's not, it's trying to be as good as it can for competitive play, but its main purpose is just like, hey, everybody loves Minecraft.
Exactly. Like, and that is the thing, like, that's the reason why I'm not down on this character. I love this character. This character's fun. But I'm just setting the record straight that, like, because most of the time, my timeline that I'm seeing is people being like, either this character, like, oh, I'm sad because this character's not good and blah, blah. Or it's people being like, this character's broken, blah, blah. It's like, no, this character sucks, but he's fun. So he's worth being in the game. You know, like, I have a lot of fun playing. And that's usually the case with a lot of characters that are bad. They're fun because they're bad, where it's like, it's funny to see people not be able to, like, deal with stuff like, oh, I'm just going to build this block or whatever. And that, like, that just leads to funny moments.
I mean, like, obviously within the competitive community, it doesn't need to have more characters added to keep the competitive community alive. Like Melee, for example, has had the same 30 characters or however many are in it, or
I don't even think
25 or something. Those same amount of characters for however many years, 18 years or something ridiculous. And it's still doing fine, you know? So adding more characters doesn't necessarily have to feed into the competitive community for it
honestly
to be
more
worthwhile.
Characters is bad for the competitive community because it's more matchups you got to learn and all that stuff. But also there's definitely a lot of competitive players that like me, like I'm more on the obviously I'm more into the competitive scene, and I like new characters being added because of the additional matchups, because I find that interesting, and the balance changes that they make to the older character, like Pokemon Trainer got buffed, you know, like that type of stuff. But like I definitely see people that don't want more characters because of the additional thing. But also, again, there's competitive players that are like, you know, top players that are like, I'm waiting for another character because the characters that are in the game don't fit me. I don't like any of these characters. Like I know a top player that I follow and usually tends to play characters that I like. He doesn't like Minecraft Steve at all. Like, he's like, this character sucks, this patch sucks. I'm playing Warzone instead. You know, like, oh,
is that the guy? There's a guy you were playing on Twitch with the other day. That's
no. That's Lee. That's Lee.
Okay, gotcha.
That whole thing is Chloe, I think, was streaming, and she rated him, and then Max got like became friends with him, and then I became friends with him because he played Smash Brothers. And Max like, you should play Smash Brothers. And then
he seemed nice. He was.
And now we play Smash Brothers.
Minutes,
like now that's going to be a normal, like, regular thing because he's cool and he's really good at Smash Brothers, and it's fun playing against people that like play Smash Brothers. In a way that's like they're trying to be good, you know, like it's not a sort of thing where it's like I can take advantage of Wi-Fi and cheese you with DDD, you know, like that sort of thing. It's like he's trying to play me using tactics that would or wouldn't work offline, you know, just like stuff that baseline is like good practices, which is fun to play against. So you'll see more of that on twitch.tv/FanatixFour as well.
That's right.
We're almost at 1,000 followers. We might be more than 1,000 followers.
Oh, really? Nice. Look at that.
I don't know. We're teetering right under it, which is wild because
that
like
is crazy.
we don't stream, or we do now, but before then. So that's cool.
That's super cool. Yeah, I mean, he might not have been trying to cheese you in Smash, but I was trying to cheese Super Mario Sunshine as much as possible because what a thing. I've been playing a little bit more of that.
I've been seeing that too.
Yeah, so like I 100%ed 64 pretty quick, just because like I know it a lot better. And then I played through Sunshine, and I can't remember when the last time we talked was, and so like where things were. But in any case, I beat it and like was trying to 100% it as I went at the beginning. And then the closer I got to the end, the more I was like, I'm just gonna get to the end and then come back later, which is so I'm going back, and man, like for how much fun a lot of that game is, there are some bits of that game that just don't want you to have a good time. like it's a time and a half. But I'm trying to remember which. I mean, like obviously the pachinko machine and
Yeah, that's the one that everybody talks
that kind of stuff. There was one, oh yeah, like the watermelon one is just such a nuisance. It's so bad. I forgot to press the button soon enough to get a screen grab because I pressed it. But there was a time that like the
you could have did the replay and then got the screen grab from that.
Oh, well, so that's what I meant. You mean to like hold it down for 30 seconds? Yeah. Or not hold it down for 30 seconds. I did that, but I did it like even later than the 30 seconds where I missed like the golden bit where what are those, the birds that are on Pianta Beach or whatever that, it's like those weird bird things that like hit you up in the air and they're also Mario Kart Double Dash on the, Peach Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys, whatever they're called, are the worst. And one of them got me caught under like a raised, like a roof kind of thing or ceiling. And so it was just like, he would hit me and I just bounced off the roof and he'd hit me again and bounced off the roof. And I was just caught in a loop till I died. So like, it's quite a time, but it's still a fun game. But there's a lot of bits in there that I'm glad that they've refined in later entries. But no.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a chance to play 3D All Stars recently.
Mm-hmm.
Things,
I surely do know. Yeah, if you're listening to this way after the fact, we haven't had an episode for the past 2 weeks or so because life has, and like this is the first time I think we've missed an episode maybe since. Yeah, I think since I joined.
Yeah.
Because the one time it looked like we were going to for PAX, we weren't on it, but the Loot Pots guys subbed in, and that was great. So, so they were able to do that. But yeah, this is the first time we actually missed, and probably with good cause. So, I think that's all I'm playing though. I feel like there's some other bits and pieces. I downloaded the Pikmin 3 demo earlier, but haven't started it yet. And may not. I don't know if I'm gonna just wait and play the full game or do the demo first. I don't know. We'll see. Carries over, I think, but like I kind of, especially for a game that I know I'm gonna get anyway, I kind of would rather just wait and start. I think so.
And I already played it, so it was like a thing of like, if I'm not making a video about it, not worth downloading.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it would have been worth downloading for this. I guess I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd rather just talk about when it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do that.
And speaking of talking about things, Phil Spencer talked about a number of things. One of the questions, for example, was whether or not the Bethesda, that whole thing, like pretty much like, will you bring those games to other platforms? Will it have been worth it if not? He made some other comments, but the most interesting comments for our podcast specifically, because Nintendo, is he talked about whether or not, kind of Microsoft would keep supporting the Switch with games, because obviously, and I feel like it's worth bringing this up again, even though this has been talked about before. The last time there was a comment like this was before Ori Will of the Wisps came to Switch.
I was gonna bring that up where he was like, he's like, I don't know if this makes sense, or I don't know if we'll do this. Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
I
was like, all right.
Yep.
Okay.
So, which I feel like those two facts could pretty much point in either one of two directions. Like you could either be like, oh, he said that, but they did it anyway, or I don't know. So I don't know. Like I've got some thoughts, but I'm curious what yours are. Here, let me read the comments first, or the specific quote, and then we'll talk about it. So where does that leave the prospect of more Xbox games coming to non-Xbox consoles? Spencer told me that, quote unquote, it doesn't feel sustainable to consider Xbox games on a case-by-case basis for Switch, and said, in order to really support it, I would want a full Xbox ecosystem somewhere, and that probably means things like Live and Game Pass and stuff. He said something similar in July during an interview with GameStar, though the answer has changed slightly. Back then, he said that the other competitive platforms aren't really that interested in having a full Xbox experience on their hardware. I cited that answer to him and asked if it was still the case with Sony and Nintendo. I don't want to speak for them, he said. I think they should probably answer. That's how he talks.
That's what he sounds
what a
like,
weird guy. Just kidding. Yeah. Okay. What are your thoughts?
I think Sony will say no. Nintendo, I don't know. The it's a little bit more up in the air for them, I think. I think that they're like, if anybody's willing to go and play ball with them on that, it's definitely Nintendo.
Yeah.
And I think that like that's a win for both sides.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
like a lot of people are like, if they do that, then Nintendo needs to give Microsoft Mario. It's like, no, because that's not how Microsoft operates.
Right.
They're not trying to sell consoles. They're trying to sell their subscriptions in their software, you know? So this is a win-win. Nintendo gets to sell more consoles because it's like you get to play freaking Microsoft games on a console on the go, you know? And Microsoft gets to have their products and services on another console, which means more users. So,
so
I think it's possible for them.
Yeah, for sure. So, and I think that is the thing, is the Game Pass and Live and all that is, you know, like we know, is Xbox and Microsoft's end goal, and that's their game plan, is get that to as many people as possible on whatever platforms that is, because that's service money and that's, you know, just sustainable or whatever. But the interesting thing here is, I do kind of wonder if it's essentially that he's telling the truth pretty much. Like that I think if Nintendo doesn't bite the bullet on letting some form of Game Pass on or whatever, even if it's like a kind of more stripped down version of Game Pass, because the whole, you know, the main issue I think we've talked about before is if there's a game that's on Game Pass and on the eShop, Nintendo probably wouldn't really want that. So that's probably their main blocker, is like, I don't really want you to be able to choose whether you can get it for free through Game Pass through your subscription, or get Ori the Will of the Wisps, you know, pay 20 or 30 bucks or whatever for it. So like that's definitely a thing. But I do wonder if Nintendo keeps saying no to the Game Pass thing, if at some point then Microsoft would be like, okay, well, we probably won't keep putting games on. Like maybe here, I assume probably
like maybe it's a bargaining chip for them.
That's,
maybe that's what they're talking about. Maybe it's like, well, like our games here.
Yep. That's kind of what I feel like. It could be any number of things, but if I were Microsoft, that's how I would be seeing these, as planting seeds towards something, as opposed to like, oh, we just really need to get more money out of Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Let's put it on the Switch so that it can get more money. Because like, you know, they are getting more money out of it, but they don't necessarily need that from that specific place. It feels more like a strategic move in a bigger picture of,
because like at the end of the day, it can be financially sustainable and make them a lot of money to have their stuff on Switch. But like their plan is to be able to make money that's going to make them more money.
Right.
In the future.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not even about sustainability. It's about prosperity. It's like how much more money could we make if we had our services on there, rather than just, could we be successful Nintendo Switch developers? Yes, they could.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So that's the thing, that with all this, I don't know that I have a whole lot more thoughts past that. And what sucks about that is, unless we see it go positively where it does happen, I kind of think we won't really know anything about it. You know what I mean? Where it's like, it won't get commented on. Nintendo's not going to say, no, we don't want to do that, because that's bad PR for them. I mean, they could swing it to be like, we don't need that or whatever, but then that turns them into more competitors.
Honestly, I mean, they could, but that could be a double-edged sword.
Right.
And not to be like, well, we don't need it, but it's because we're updating Switch Online and we're adding blah blah blah. And then if it's not good enough, people are going, you know,
you could have had this on there, and that would have been great.
Exactly. Yeah, like, so double-edged sword for sure.
Yeah.
But
I think they just don't comment, because that's Nintendo's pretty good at not commenting. They just don't say it.
Like, I mean, it doesn't sound, they haven't commented any other time he talked about this. So
right, exactly.
You know, so why would they have to now? And plus, like, the bulk of their consumers are not paying attention to what Phil Spencer says. The bulk of Xbox's consumers are not paying attention to what Phil Spencer says. You know, like, that's like the hardest of hardcore even know what Phil Spencer's name is. You know.
That is funny to think about, because we obviously are in that circle of people that would, and everybody listening probably, you know, 90% of you also do. But there's so many people that just don't. Okay, so that made me think of this tangential story, because that's what we do here. My first internship out of college was at a nonprofit that ran that did events in the country music space because I'm in Nashville or just outside of Nashville.
Mhm.
And like one of their criteria for getting the internship at all was like, you can't be starstruck. Like that just can't be a thing. If Keith Urban walks in the door, you got to be like, what's up, Keith Urban? Have a nice day or whatever. And I was like, that's
what's going down,
buddy K.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not a problem for me because I don't know country music. I don't know who any of these people are going to be pretty much. So like, works out pretty well. But then there was the other side of that where I was working an event with that internship. And they like told us, they're like, hey, there's some people that you can't be like, what's your name? And they're like, Taylor Swift, I mean, Taylor Swift wasn't one of them, but specifically Taylor Swift's, the guy, Scott Borchetta, who owns Big Machine Records, who was her record label owner or whatever at the time. He 100% was somebody that if you asked him his name, like he would probably just leave the event fully, like wouldn't even, which is funny because it's like, who outside of knowing the industry knows who the owner of the record label of Taylor Swift is. Like, So it was funny. I was like about to ask him what his name was as he came up and somebody else was like, hello, Scott, how's it going? Here's your thing. It's like, okay, well, I guess I dodged a bullet or whatever. But all that to say, Phil Spencer, we know who he is because we know stuff.
Because if we don't know, he'll storm out of the room.
He'll leave Microsoft entirely. And then I will take the job. It'll be great.
Oh, that's the plan. Everybody ask who Phil Spencer is. Every time, if you ever encounter, like, just unprompted, walk up to him and be like, "Excuse me, who are you?"
And then I will put Game Pass on the Switch. That's how it works, guys. Let's get to business.
Dude. Let's get to business.
And speaking of business, the Switch.
Wait.
You said
I have another thing. I have another thing that I want to say. Are you still planning to get an Xbox Series S? Because we already know. I freaking pre-ordered the Xbox Series X.
Nice.
And I posted the thing about, at first I was like, I'm not going to get a freaking new iPhone because I don't need that. But then I got an email from freaking Xfinity, who's my internet service provider. And they're like, hey, dude, we have phones and stuff. You want a phone?
Oh, man.
You get $250 off. And also your phone bill will be less than half the price of your current phone bill. Why not do that? And I was like, oh, shoot. And I checked and saw, and I was like, I don't have to pay anything on my current phone. Why not? So then I looked on Amazon and I get $425 for my current phone. That's my Xbox, dude.
Man, that's
my
awesome.
Xbox right there. So I get a new phone and a new Xbox. I'm paying less money. So technically, I'm still being fiscally responsible. I just wanted to clear the air on that.
With double new technology. Look at that.
Because I said on Twitter that I was gonna use willpower or something like that, and then I said something about impulse and stuff like that. And it's 100% impulse, but it's still not, completely.
It's impulse that worked in your favor.
Exactly. It's an impulsive investment.
There it is. Yep.
So there's that.
I'm proud of you.
You
can do it. And we're proud of the Switch for being the best-selling console in the United States 22 months in a row.
Let's go, team.
We
did it.
There's not a whole lot of topic to talk about around this other than like it's going to keep doing it for the rest of this Christmas. So that's fun, I guess.
Yeah. Wait, where did we fall on the whole thing about when it's going to sell more?
PS5. I still feel like Switch is going to be the most through the end of the season.
Yeah.
For stock reasons, if nothing else.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I think.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because I thought we both fell on that. So I know he's not, but maybe now it's different. I don't know.
Yeah. Because we were talking. Was it Rich on that episode?
Yeah.
Yep. There it is. So,
but yeah, no, I think that it's gonna outsell those for stock. But also, if they do Black Friday deals or whatever Black Friday is in 2020.
Yeah. Oh man, that's interesting. I mean, it's just going to be Cyber Monday and Cyber Friday and
Cyber Week.
Cyber Week. So there it is. That's all the news we got to talk about. We missed some stuff the past couple weeks, but whatever.
We probably tweeted about it if it was important enough.
Probably. So there's that. All right, cool. Let's get in some comments from our videos. You guys watch our videos, you leave some comments, and some of those were like, that's such a good comment. We want to talk more about it. And then we do.
Yep,
Here it is.
Yep.
Anything you want to say about your video before we get into the comments?
I like Rogue Company. There's going to be comments about it. I talked about my experience with Rogue Company when we did the stream and all that stuff. But another factor that I didn't talk about and didn't get to talk about in the video is like a big reason why I didn't get to form as much of an opinion on like a lot of like the different modes and also like the stuff about like the controller settings and stuff like that is because there was a lot of crunch there as far I mean, not crunch like in a negative way necessarily, but just because like I wanted to try to get the video out on time. And also when you work with brands, they want like they want space.
You just had priorities.
The video's done, and it's like, okay, so they want to be able to approve the video. Yeah. And for the video to be approved, the video needs to be done in advance further than it would have been otherwise. Hence why I posted the whole thing where it's like, I'm glad that like like freaking 24 hours or whatever, I'm like done with the video. Like I don't have to do anything. Luckily that went by smooth and I didn't have to do anything where it's like, you can't say that. Granted, I will say that if that video, if they would have said no about that video, anything other than like, this is factually wrong, or maybe use this promotional footage instead of this promotional footage. If it was like a thing of like, I don't like that you said this negative thing or what, I would have said no, and the video would have just went up unsponsored. But luckily they were just like, okay, yeah, it's good. Like they just reviewed it the first time and it was like, okay, yeah, you can set it to live. And I was like, dope.
Nice. So, that's cool. I do wonder how often that happens, that like sponsors or whatever are just like, yep, we're not even, or I don't know. Yeah. Your opinions are bad.
Mean, I haven't done much sponsor stuff, but in my experience, they always say yes.
Yeah, right,
It was always the first review of the thing of like, yeah, this is good. You know, like, and I think that's I think that them saying no is reserved for people or influencers, TM, that don't use common sense. You know, like obviously if I'm going to talk about the game or whatever, I'm not going to say like Rogue Company effing sucks and blah blah. Like, you know, I can say I can have like a dissenting opinion about the thing and be like, I don't really like this and this and this, but be professional about it. You know, like you don't have to be a jerk every time you have something negative to say, or the thing of like just blatantly being wrong about something and like stating it as fact. Like there was stuff that like I didn't know, which we'll get to. I was like, I think that this is not an option, at least in my time with it, it wasn't that I saw. And they were fine with that. I was like, oh yeah, that's fine. You know?
Yeah, right. Well, speaking of comments, let's do it. Duncan said, get those sponsors. And he did. You did the thing.
It's true.
And they continued to say, it helps the Rogue Company is actually dope too. Just tried it out for the first time the other day.
Sick. And I told him in the comment, I would have said no. And you know that there's been plenty of sponsors that we've been offered where it's like, if they don't have all their freaking I's dotted and their T's crossed, I'm like, nope, I don't care how much money it is. You know, like if it's not something that I genuinely would, you know, try to recommend to somebody, whether I'm getting paid or not, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
So luckily, this is a game that I would straight up, like if anybody was like, I like shooters and I'm looking for something free to play, what should I play? I would say this whether you're paying me for it or not. In fact, like I said in the video, me and Bob were going to play it before the sponsorship even came up. The only thing that we were waiting for is for it to be free. So there's that.
Nice. Yeah. Forbidden Mabel says, Hi-Rez loves to steal games and turn them into silly play-to-win games. I'll pass, but happy the man's got sponsors.
I like the fact, because that's always like in the back of my mind too, because I feel like it always is in the back of every like YouTube creator's mind, right? When they upload sponsored videos, like, man, I hope people aren't mad that I'm getting paid to, you know, that I'm able to eat food, you know, like, that sort of thing. But I like the fact that we usually get a pretty positive reception to that. As far as like all the other stuff, I don't know. I can't really speak to to Hi-Rez's reputation outside.
I don't
of
even
this
know
game.
any other high-res games, honestly, at all.
Yeah, so it's like I haven't really played the one other Hi-Rez game, Paladins, I think, is there. Paladins?
Oh, is it? Okay.
They were going to send me
Yeah.
codes,
And Smite.
and I was just like,
Yeah.
nah. Like at the time, it was like, early in the Switch's life cycle, there was like more stuff to talk about. I'm not going to talk about this game, so I don't want to accept the code or whatever. Like, so.
Yep. I mean, the thing with that though, like, I don't know. It feels like both of these. I don't know about the pay to win stuff because I haven't played it, and like, that is a thing that is in some games, and like that doesn't even necessarily. I don't know. That's that is what it is. But it seems like these are still, from an outsider's perspective, who doesn't even play online games, good options of having like. I don't have. What's the one that's like Paladin? Is it like Overwatch? Is it like Overwatch?
Paladins like Overwatch.
Okay. Then like I don't want to spend the money on Overwatch, so I'll just try the free equivalent or whatever. I don't know. Like that seems like I'm good with that.
And I mean, even if like that was true, that it was pay to win or whatever, the price that you pay is the price of any other game. Like you get every character for $60, and you don't have to buy every character.
Yeah,
and
or
the
you can just
that,
not win, and that's fine.
But the characters that I tried multiple characters that cost money. I only tried one free character outside of the tutorial. I tried 2 free characters altogether, but I tried like 5 paid characters, and none of them felt like broken. And Lancer was just the one that was like, this feels like the type of play style that I would use. Plus, she looks cool. Like. That was just like,
are there like loot boxes and stuff for cosmetics?
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Okay.
Well, I don't know if it's loot boxes,
or it's like some kind of like gotcha, maybe not gotcha stuff specifically, but like microtransactions.
There's microtransactions. I don't know if it's loot boxes though.
Gotcha.
I didn't mess with any of that stuff.
Even that, I mean, like there's definitely things where like that can be predatory or whatever, but when it's for cosmetics, there still is, to me, a difference. Like I know that like in the grand
there's
scheme
some
of things,
people that put that much value in cosmetics where it can feel predatory to put them behind a paywall and stuff like that. But in the grand scheme of things,
for personal, exactly. From personal opinion, that's like, just for me, I can just ignore it and don't care, and it's like, oh, cool. If I happen to get a rare thing eventually by my own merit, that's neat. And if not,
it's just like just for me in general, I had this freaking phone. Wait, let me like yeet my notifications. I had the same phone wallpaper for like the past month or something wild like that.
Is that like, a long time for you?
I mean, not month, way long. It was very long. Look at this. I had the same. You guys saw this wallpaper. I did this like 8 months ago or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
I don't change my wallpapers. I got this computer. It's a default wallpaper on here.
Yeah.
And I had this computer for what, 3-4 months? And it just doesn't matter. It's like, whatever. I'm not going to look at this. I'm going to open the app and go to the thing that I want to do, which is, I talk about all the time that I don't care about folders or I don't care about Switch themes and stuff because I just want to play the game. I don't care about all that stuff. And that applies to the same thing about like with character skins and stuff like that. I mean, if there is one that looks cool to me, then that's good. But I'm not going to go out of my way to get the thing,
Yeah. Yep. Next comment is from Jeremy Mall, something like that. Sorry if I said your last name wrong. Just like me picking the black girl. Hell yeah, love my black women. Lancer is by far my favorite rogue. The auto reload when she rolls is great in them tense moments. Never had to worry about your gun being empty. I've been playing with her for months. I couldn't wait for it to go free. LOL.
Dope.
There it is.
Yeah, that's a very useful ability because that's just something that like you obviously instinctively do where it's like, oh, I'm getting shot, let me roll away, and then like for that you get the reward of okay, my gun is full and now I can counterattack.
Yeah,
so yeah, that's a very useful mechanic.
Yeah.
And also yes to the first half of that too.
I'm dying. Last comment is from either Gian or Gian Rivera. Somebody, hello. Thank you for leaving this comment. You're great.
The motion comments how to say your name.
That's the one. Yeah. The motion controls have to be turned on in the settings. It's off by default.
It's true. I went into yes.
It didn't say that last part.
That's true. It's true. I am. But I went in there and I rectified that. I still haven't gotten a chance to try motion controls because I tried to do it on stream and the game wouldn't load. So there's that.
Yep. Keep us updated though, because I'll be curious what your thoughts are on. Because I mean, not every game's motion controls are good.
Yeah.
Like I remember playing just a little. Mitch got oh man, we just talked about it a few weeks ago. I feel like the shooter where you make your heads big and legs small and all that one.
Morpheus Law.
Morphe's Law, he got that one and we tried it out and the gyro felt just bad on it. Like
that game's not good.
No, it's not. That was so sad.
I know. I was sad too.
It's funny. Okay, so like the video that I'm gonna make that you know what I'm talking about eventually. It's funny because that was a game that like
when they announced that,
we were so excited. There was a shooter coming. Like that was the thing. By the time it came out, other ones had come out and it sucked. Like
that was like this happens often where it's like a lot of times me and Bob stream the Nintendo Directs and just every freaking event, you know? And we're like, this is hype. We're going to stream this. And I was one of those. And then it came out and I was like, man, this game sucks.
It is funny too. Like, with the Direct and stuff, I follow Katie Casper on Twitter, who she was one of the people. She was like one of the announcers
like Nintendo,
for the like Indie Land or whatever, or the Nindies.
She was like the one that was like emailing me, like corresponding for E3 when.
Oh, really?
We were supposed to do
That's
that.
funny. Yeah. So I follow her, and it's funny. She doesn't work in Nintendo anymore. It feels like maybe she's a little bit jaded, which is just funny to watch that because like it'll be just like really small remarks, but they seem a little bit like sassy, and it's fun to see. But also makes me curious about like how things work. But it was after some Nindies presentation, since she no longer worked there. But everybody was tweeting out like, oh, these games look great and stuff. And she was like, well, curious to see which of these games we don't see again for 3 years. And I'm like,
God.
Ooh, that's throwing some shade. But that said, that's definitely a thing where there's some games that have showed up, especially Nindies, where like they show up in there and then like 2 years later, they just come out without like, with no warning. Like one of them, like one came out this week that like I might reach out and or I might try to play at some point, but I don't know, maybe not at this point.
What
called
is it?
Roki.
Yeah.
That one, I don't even know a ton about the gameplay, but like I'm curious about it only because it was a Nindies game. So like, maybe there's something to it.
There was like some
but it just came out just
I
like
got an email
completely
about
out of the blue.
I ask you about where it's like, do you want this? Because I don't, and they're asking if we want it. The Red Lantern.
Oh, hey, yeah, I'd be interested. I played the demo for that at PAX and was not sure. It was like, that was the one that I was saying, like, it's a survival game and it felt just really unfair in a lot of ways, but maybe it's not. So,
okay, sick. Do you want it on Nintendo Switch or Epic Game Store?
Oh, Epic for sure. I've got so many places where I play Epic games.
That's what the email basically was. It's like, this game, let us know if you want it on Epic Game Store or Nintendo Switch.
When is that coming out?
22nd.
That's real soon. Huh. Okay. Fun times. I'll let you know.
I got the email like yesterday.
I need to make like for at risk of inside baseball and stuff, I need to make an Indies video or something like that at some point. Cause I have a bunch of games that it's like, I'd like to talk about, but I have only talked about it on the podcast, and you podcast listeners are my favorite people. And we need to share that love with even more favorite people. You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
That's how it works. Any more thoughts on Row Company?
I want to play more, but the game won't let me.
What a dilemma. And speaking of playing more, I want to play more Breath of the Wild, and especially the story of it in Age of Calamity. That was a bad transition, but here we are anyway. I made a video.
Next month is rough, dude. There's too much stuff, man.
What else next month?
There's freaking
this game,
new consoles. Game,
okay, yeah.
Like
I only think about Switch.
Pikmin.
Like...
That's true. But Pikmin's at the end of the month, so it's like you gotta freaking. When does this come? Is this the end of next month or is it
the 20th? It's not even quite the end. It's like
next month, dude.
I know.
I mean, all things considered, the Xbox is definitely like a thing that like I'm buying for later more than anything. It's like I know I'm gonna want a new thing. I know that most of the games that I want to play next gen are going to be on the Xbox that are like not on Switch or whatever Nintendo platform. So I was like, I'm all right. I might as well get that one out of the way now and get PlayStation when it makes sense.
Yeah.
Game wise.
Yeah. I mean, and like I said too, on Twitter, I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like next week there's probably going to be a Partners Direct. I could totally be wrong about that, but that said, that could very well announce even more games for
Didn't they
November.
say that there's going to be another one this
they've definitely said there's going to be more this year. Whether or not it's specifically next week, I don't know. I'm just
I don't know about that. I'm just saying stuff. Like I was thinking, I was like, is that feasible this year? And I'm like, wait, I think they said that they're going to do another one this year. So
at least one more, probably just one more. I would think it wouldn't make. I feel like doing one in November would be, I don't know. I mean, they could do it, but maybe be kind of.
What about the freaking November?
Yeah. So in any case, so I made this video. Still waiting on. Where's that January Direct, by the way? Did that ever?
Still waiting on the January Direct.
So I made a video, and quick note that I didn't realize while I was making it. I mentioned the playable characters in Age of Calamity and made a mistake. Because
how dare you?
Yeah, so somebody commented and they were like, "Did they confirm that Robbie and Pura are playable?" And I was like, "Did they not?" And yeah, that was for a bit of context of why I wasn't for sure about that information. I watched that trailer between several other things during a week planning some less than fun activities.
No.
So what's happening?
I'm trying to fix this light. Light fell.
I believe in you.
Okay.
But yeah, it was like during a week of being with family and like planning for a funeral and stuff. So I watched it at some point, but yeah, definitely missed the fact that they didn't confirm them as playable characters. Really? So they still maybe could be, but I don't know.
Okay.
What's it doing?
I think we're good.
Is it doing
it? Like this. I've like freaking positioned it because it's like I'm not gonna like. It's like an arm. Like, move it.
Yeah.
And I put it behind my computer because I didn't want to be in my way. But it's not stable back there. So
now it just keeps falling down.
The desk in front of my computer. Because like without the light, it's not. The light's not. You know what I mean?
Without light really doesn't do the light thing. That's what I've learned. Lightsabers and all that.
Yes.
So all that to say, Robbie and Pura, we don't know about them, but all the rest of them, maybe, yeah. That's still the characters that I'd like to see in.
I'm still waiting for Goku, personally.
Where's SpongeBob? That's what I need. I don't know why my brain. Right when you said Goku, SpongeBob was the first thing that came. I thought Goku, Smash, and then thought SpongeBob before even thinking. Like in my mind, it was like. SpongeBob is a character that's in Smash. So apparently in my brain, there's Smash is doing a lot of different things. Let's get into some of these comments. Goldfish said, "Glad you mentioned the night market guy. I would be interested with him too."
The night market.
That's guy. Kilton for those of you who remember him. I was talking to my friend Chris yesterday because he just beat Breath of the Wild, like beat Ganon and stuff, but like I think he got all the shrines first. But like it's funny how like he beat it, played it, maybe like 100 hours or something, maybe less than that. But like still hasn't run into Kilton and like kind of didn't really interact with Flower Blight Ganon, the flower girl lady. Like he interacted with her, but I think he did walk around all the flowers and he stepped on them one time and she just yells at you the first 2 times. But because there wasn't the meme about stuff right now, like we all knew about it from seeing other people do it, I guess, or whatever, or just accidentally doing it. And then her freaking out and murdering you. But he didn't like experience that, which is just really funny. So like, I do wonder what things he's missed out on just because there's not the cultural kind of things pointing you to doing that stuff.
The game is definitely like made with that intention, almost where it's like it's not made for you to experience all of it. It assumes that a select few aren't going to see stuff like that, or even only a select few are going to see things like that. So it's super interesting to see somebody that actually hasn't, that have been painted by the internet. Tainted by information.
Yeah. So yeah, that was interesting. Oh, but I'll continue with the comment. And then continues to say, outside of characters, I'm interested if they include the giant flying dragons. They make interesting set pieces. True. Also, what are they going to do with shrines? Were they created before or after the Calamity? In regards to the Temple of Time, I imagine it might have something to do with a ritual to see a link at the end of the game. If it incorporated the sages from Ocarina of Time, they could play an interesting role too. Lots of good bits here. I
hope if they do include the dragons, we hear like what's up with that.
Yeah.
Like why are they there?
Yep. There's so many things like that. Yeah. That we just like don't really. So some of these we do have answers to. As far as the shrines. So those are from the Sheikah from like 10,000 years before. So they're not going to be in this game at all because they, or at least we assume not. Maybe they had found them and buried them back down.
We might hear something about them where it's like, Lincoln, if you encounter this, then you do this here.
Yeah.
But not like actually see a shrine arise from the ground. You know,
because theoretically they should have been buried for 10,000 years or whatever. So, we'll see there at that point, I guess.
It's just like a thing of like maybe he gets like a history lesson of like knowing what to do when he goes in one or whatever.
Yeah. But then the other bits, the sages thing, that's a great thought with the Temple of Time and all that. Like, I feel like the Temple of Time, it's in the world map. So like, it's got to be used for something more than what it is in Breath of the Wild. And it'd just be fun if it were. So the sages thing is a good idea. And the dragons too. Yep. That's that. I mean, literally, like, I don't know. My thoughts on all this are the more they just like incorporate and like self-reference and stuff like that and expand on the things that we already know, like that's what I want to see.
That's all I'm in this for. I don't care even a little bit about I'm actually negative excited about the gameplay. I don't want to play the game, but I do want to know what's going on in the lore and the story and all that stuff. So I want to play it for that reason. But the gameplay is a chore for me. So the more stuff that is like rewards me for having to suffer, the better.
We'll have a comment about that in a minute too. But first, Michael L says, what I'm scared of is that this game really only has less than 10 characters. Technically, we haven't seen gameplay on Robbie and Pura, so going from 29 characters in the last one to just barely 10 would be a big downgrade.
True.
So my thoughts on that are, I haven't played the last one, so I don't know. I guess it really depends, A, how versatile they make these characters, and B, how like story driven or whatever it is. You know, like if they I feel like they will have more playable characters, even though the whole Robbie and Pura thing, I was wrong about them being confirmed playable. I still feel like there's going to be more than just the ones that, you know, that we have.
Just saw the comment.
Yeah, that'll be fun. All that to say, like, it could be, I think if they could probably do it in a way that, like, because most people are here for the story and not just like warriors, Muso, except for the person we're about to talk to, then yeah, I think maybe they could still make it good at 10 characters, but I do feel like they probably should include more than that. So I'm with you, Michael. But we'll see. And then this comment, I can't tell. I'm loving it regardless. I can't tell if it's trolling for fun or if it's genuine. Either way, I'm here for it. It's great. Here it goes. This was a response on Duncan left a comment about, I want to play as Epona in the game. Not ride Epona, play as Epona, which was fun. And then this person, so Eric Sledge left some comments on that one that, again, I don't know if it's serious or not, but said the following. Yeah, well, F you. I don't know. I don't know exactly how this part is supposed to go.
He said, F you, buddy.
Okay. Yeah. I wasn't sure if it's supposed to be I is less than you, but I think that's like a fake K in Leet speak or something. I don't know.
I think he's 8 and he's not allowed to curse, but he, you know, like
that, you're totally right. It's a fake C and a fake K. So well, F you, buddy. I'm excited because it's a Warriors game. the first Hyrule Warriors was fantastic. Better in fact than breath.
Than a breath of the mild.
It continues on, smiley face. So maybe, that was just
I don't understand.
all in good fun.
The smiley face broke my brain.
Yeah. So who's to say? And then continues on by saying, in all honesty, I just want the breath of the wild amiibo content to also be available in Age of Calamity. Love playing with the many costumes from past Zelda games.
Why Zelda all lowercase?
I don't know. You do yourself.
And why is the game I'm confused, dude. I'm confused.
Eric, if you're listening to this, you've made my day, whether you meant to or not. So thank you for doing that. You do yourself as a Zelda fan a disservice not playing Hyrule Warriors. It exceeded my expectations in combat, story, unlockables, and weapons. There's so much awesome in that game. Great bosses as well. That was the comment. I don't even really have thoughts on it besides thanks. What a great time. There it is. I do think it's funny. Yeah, I do wonder, are there people that feel like Hyrule Warriors is an essential part of the Zelda gameplay canon? You know what I mean?
The only way that I can be like, yeah, that makes sense that doing yourself a disservice as a Zelda fan thing is because it's a celebration of Zelda, you know?
I'll give it that. Yeah,
but
for sure.
Not in terms of gameplay.
Right.
I could hear somebody being like, you do yourself a disservice as a Pokemon fan to not play Smash Brothers because Pokemon Trainer is a celebration of the Pokemon mechanic, right. Not on a gameplay level, if you like Pokemon for the gameplay of Pokemon, I wouldn't fault you for not liking Smash Brothers,
Right.
And that's how Hyrule Warriors is, where it's you could be a Zelda fan and not like the gameplay of Hyrule Warriors and not find worth in Hyrule Warriors because of that. But wanting to play Age of Calamity because it does bring value to you as a Zelda fan outside of the superficial, I'm playing as Link or Midna, that sort of thing. But it contributes to the reason why you like Zelda, the lore and the story and all the other crap.
This is true.
Yep.
So there it is. There's that for us. What a good time. And then the last comment. This one's a long one, but I thought there was some really good stuff in here. Taryn Tvo said, great vid. Been a long time Zelda fan, so I picked up Hyrule Warriors when it first came out in 2014, even though I was completely unfamiliar with even the concept of a Warriors game, just because it seemed interesting. Now I'm a big fan of that 1v1000 game style, and I'm honestly so hyped for Breath of the Wild's Warrior game. I'm not sure how strict they're going to be with the roster for this game since this is going to be canon, but in the other Hyrule Warriors, there was a story mode which restricted who you could play as, and then free mode and adventure mode where you could play as anyone, even characters that wouldn't make any sense in that scenario. Zant rescuing Ruto from Skull Kid. I'm hoping that they do something similar with Age of Calamity, where the canon story is strict and only has characters that would make sense, and then they have the free mode and the adventure mode, which is where some DLC, unlockable or non-canon characters can shine, and that way they can give players that fan service. I just can't imagine they'll miss an opportunity to give fans a playable side on, LOL. Also, the rest of the new champions. Also, Hyrule Warriors had a lot of unlockable skins for each character, so maybe they'll represent other characters by letting canon characters be reskinned or something. Lame example, but Rivali with a white plumage outfit so he resembles Tiba, whatever.
Give him a Falco outfit. I'm not buying the game.
In Hyrule Warriors, they had a skin for Ruto that recolored her to look like Lulu, and another so she resembled Rutella. Kilton is a great choice I hadn't thought of. I imagine he'll be a kind of Tingle equivalent. Hestu as well. A Korok would be a great addition to diversify the roster. I hope we get some Great Fairy action just for funsies, since the Great Fairy item was kind of a joke character in Hyrule Warriors. I could go on and on because I'm so hyped for this game, but I'm trying not to write an essay. LOL.
We support essays here.
We do. Yeah, no, that was really good. And good to know and understand. Because that was kind of my speculation, but I just didn't know for sure and wasn't a good way to exactly look it up, but like how the story characters work and all that kind of thing, where you can like play them freeform and stuff. Because like you can
could
play
have
as
downloaded it from my account. Hashtag.
oh, that's
product.
true. Yeah. But like Ganondorf, for example, I know I can't remember what bits I did or didn't cut out, by the way, from the video. But like I know Ganondorf is playable in that, but like I just don't know. It didn't know in what way, you know, who he's playing against or how exactly that works. So, but it sounds like he'd probably be just in.
He has like the flame hair. He's like freaking, yeah, man.
Good old Ganondorf. So, yeah, there's that. Honestly, there's not a single thing I disagree with here, other than I just haven't played one of these games before, so can't say I'm necessarily a big fan of the gameplay yet.
Like I said, if Falco doesn't get his skin, bad game trash.
Okay, and there were a couple people that I removed from the video because it was too long and I had to edit it down. But some other ideas that I had that I didn't mention. One of them was the predecessors to Bolson's construction crew. Bolson being the guy that you meet in Hateno Village and makes Terrytown and all that. Something I feel like just a crew of people that like, even if individually they're not very strong, but they're like a construction crew, somehow like that kind of gameplay mechanic would just be fun and quirky and silly and fun. So that was one.
Maybe they're part of your freaking platoon or whatever.
Yeah, right, exactly. Oh, that's a good point. And there were some other ones, but I don't remember what they're off the top of my head. So that's the only one I'm going to mention, I guess, because I forgot the others. And that's my video.
It surely is. I'm going to play Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, and I'm going to try to like the gameplay, but I probably won't. And maybe I'll play it on stream, but probably not. I'm definitely going to play it at least once on stream, but I don't like playing games that I don't already like intrinsically understand on stream because it's just like the chat is going to have people that are
actually gaming
familiar with the game in that way, and they're going to look, they always look down on you no matter what. Like they never think about when they were new to the game and just messing around and trying to figure crap out. They're automatically like, you should be like intimately familiar with this game in the way that I am. So I'm just going it's like I'm not down for that experience. I'd rather play games that I just already understand, or that I don't care if you know more than I do about it or whatever.
I feel like there's definitely different, like there's some kinds of games that people like watching playing for the first time where like, you know, they know all the things. It's like, oh, you're going to discover some things or whatever. So like that's something. But then besides that, it does feel like people either watch streamers play games because it's a new game that's out and it's everybody's first time playing it. So like that's a thing. Or that whole thing of like, you know, this streamer usually plays Mario Maker stuff, but now they're trying Hollow Knight and I love Hollow Knight. So I'll get to watch them trying to figure that out. But most of the time, it seems like people just watch people play games that they already know so that they can idolize their gameplay ability or whatever instead of, you know, whatever.
Or people like,
or just because they like hearing
people
you talk.
do also like going to streams and doing that. Like there's people that go to streams with the intention to be like,
yes, that's a good point.
You suck at this game and I'm so great, you know, like, and I'm not.
Because that's how to prove it, is telling somebody you're good at something.
I'm so good at this game. Like, and people do it with everything. Like even games that aren't out, like you'll see like games that IGN reviews and they're like, this game gets a 4 out or whatever, and the game comes out next month and people are like, I like that part in the game way more than you did. It's like, what? You didn't even play this game. You know, like, it's that sort of crap. Like it doesn't even matter if the game's out or like if I got it early or whatever the case may be. There's going to be people in there that are like, I know way more about this game than you do and I'm way better at it. And it's like, hey.
What a time. But that's it from our videos, and now we've got lots and lots of Q&A questions, which is, to be perfectly honest, probably our favorite part of the show. So
yeah, it's true.
There's that.
Definitely
because it's the part where we talk to you and you talk to us. You leave questions on, for example, the YouTube community tab. We've got a couple questions from there. Joaquin asked, I'd like to hear your opinions on where Smash is headed in the near/distant future. Do you think there will be more DLC fighter packs or possibly different DLC, maybe the 2-player story mode we never saw? And considering how ultimate this version of the series is, where can they/should they go from here if they choose not to focus on an ultimate inclusion of the content for the next iteration? Do you think we could see a rethinking of core content within the game? Good questions.
Definitely. I think that I could see them do more content, like more DLC packs and stuff like that, but at the same time, like it can go either way. Because like the thing that most people will say is like Sakurai said it's going to be the last one, but he said the first one wasn't even going to happen. You know, like he was like, I don't know if we're going to do DLC with the next Smash Brothers game. Frame 1 DLC. After this, characters done, and I'll finally be able to be done with this game. Another 6 characters. Not only just another pack, but a pack that's bigger than the last one. You know, like so who's to say? Like we could get another 4 packs for all I know. But I don't know.
I mean, for what it's worth, it does seem like the timing of the DLC fighters now can be more flexible than they could in the past, especially than Fighters Pass 1. Like, we had 2020 happen, so like it just makes sense that stuff had to be pushed out. But then also it feels like in general, like people are always curious who the next fighter is, but it's not like these tentpole, like it's this quarter, we need to have the new fighter this quarter. And so, I mean, some people for sure, I guess, are feeling that way, but like in general, that doesn't seem to be the expectation, to where probably it's healthier on Sakurai than it ever has been before, where like he can kind of take his time and make characters, you know, I'm sure he works super hard, but like, yeah, exactly. Like just not rush it out for the sake of rushing it out, or something like that. Again, not to say that he does that, but like not go into crunch pretty much is what I'm saying. So that means like could be more sustainable to be able to do it longer, which is good.
And like on that note, like I wouldn't even be surprised if like this was the last pack, but depending on how long they plan to support Ultimate, or if if Smash Ultimate just means this is Smash Brothers now, and every time it's Fortnite, it's Minecraft, you know, it's like every time there's a new console, that's what we get. There's no Minecraft 2, you know. Maybe that's what Smash Brothers Ultimate becomes. But alternatively, I could see the next Smash Brothers game just being them slashing it and being like, all right, this is Melee, you know, like it's not Melee, but like it's 30 characters, you know, like it's super well balanced. It's a like competitive game. It's going to still like the Smash Brothers, like fun, wacky stuff, but more of a focus on like the balance of everything. I could see them doing, because like with every game since Brawl, where they made the overcorrection of like it's super casual, we saw people making it a competitive game. We don't like that. We're making it casual, and then with Smash 4, they brought it back some. In Ultimate, they brought it back more. I could see them like doubling down and going even more competitive with the next game, especially since that would be a believable, I don't want to say excuse, but reason for them to be like, yeah, we're not doing all those characters again, because it's easier to balance a game when you have half the roster, you know, or even a quarter of the roster. So I could see them doing that. I doubt they'll change like mechanics in like any real way that like people, like a lot of people are like, are we going to get a 3D Smash Brothers game? I doubt it. Just because it would change the game too much, from what it is. Like I could like I'd sooner believe they'd make a spin-off of Smash Brothers that's a 3D fighter than I would them making that the core of Smash Brothers. I mean, and also just like because I don't know, Smash Brothers already invented that genre, you know, like whenever there's a like 4-player like party fighter, platform fighter, it's compared to Smash Brothers. That won't happen if it's a 3D game.
So a couple of thoughts. I mean, for the 3D thing too, I don't know that there's been any games that have actually well refined that yet, and Smash would be a good candidate to be the first one to do it. But it's also possible that like it's just not a easy candidate to be refined as a kind of, you know, gameplay or whatever. And it just doesn't really ever feel like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what they do there, but I feel like for thinking forward to the Nintendo swap or whatever, that they'll probably do like a Ultimate Deluxe or something where like they just put it out. Like, here's all the DLC in this one pack, $60. I mean, it's, you know, like it's the whole game with all the DLC in one pack, $60.
What it seemed like they were going to do at Ultimate.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so like they just do that. And then honestly, I could see them taking a break from Smash, from like a new iteration of Smash for a while, and just having that be like, here's the game. Like people like iterating on the same game for a long time and competitively playing, you know, like, like you said, like Melee or whatever. So I could see them just leaving it alone, Sakurai doing something fully else for a good while. And then I don't know how we come back to it in, you know, 10 years or whatever that is, but they'll have to figure that out when that comes. The only question to that I think of is, I do think whatever comes next will be backwards compatible with Switch cartridges. So, I don't know. Yeah. How do they do that? I assume you can just bring...
Okay. For whatever reason, when you said backwards compatible, I thought you were saying forward compatible. I thought you were saying that the Smash Brothers that comes after Ultimate will be on the Switch.
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm saying
yeah, for sure. Because like whatever they do next is probably going to be powered by NVIDIA. Again, it's probably going to be like an iteration of their current chipset, or at the very least architecture. So I could see them do that.
Yeah. That does make it like, does it, I mean, I guess they don't have to, because like for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, part of why it does, well, not part of why, but like a factor of it is, even if you bought Mario Kart 8 on your Wii U, sorry,
you can't put the disc in.
Yeah, you can't do anything with it. You have to buy it again if you want it again. Whereas Nintendo Swap comes out or whatever, everybody upgrades. The deluxe version of Smash, if it came out, wouldn't unless it has additional features, which would then be a nightmare as far as like PR stuff goes and stuff of like, if you want these 3 additional features, you can't use your old one, blah, blah, blah. You've got to, I mean, it's like the whole Miles Morales thing, and people are mad at Sony for that. So like, there's some roadblocks there.
I too am mad.
Yeah, right. So like, there's definitely some challenges there, but I think regardless, whatever they end up doing, that probably making an Ultimate Deluxe that just has everything on the next console is the next thing. And we're just kind of, doing what we're doing now until then.
That said, it really just depends on if Sakurai means what he says this time, because like the only reason why like the Smash 4 port, like Ultimate maybe getting ported and stuff like that makes even a little bit of sense is because Sakurai is always talking about how he's like so done. Like I don't want to make these games anymore. They're killing me, literally. And so it's like, okay, yeah, then maybe they're going to pull back. But at the same time, like, I think he kind of exaggerates how much he like feels like, I don't think he actually doesn't like working on it,
Yes. I mean, I think too, like at this point, just what Smash is, I don't know, like there's probably just less pressure from Nintendo in some ways on Smash now, because it just feels a bit more self-sustaining and its identity is more formed. It's not having to pull weight for the Switch on its own. Whereas like on the Wii U, it was probably like, we need something to do something for this console. Right. So like Smash is going to have to do that and, whatever. Whereas like now Smash can, he can probably relax a bit more than he
be
could
fine.
most of the past times.
Also, I think that the bulk of it is, it's like similar. I can't speak to you, but I know that like this, right? Like doing videos and making the podcast and stuff like that. Like I know I don't have to do it every week. Like I could, like there's definitely times where it's like I'm feeling overwhelmed. I just won't. Like I'm sure people will understand, but I want to. And a big part of it is because I do feel bad. When it's like, because I know we're part of people's schedules and like, like we make their weeks better, even if it's in that small way. I know that when like whenever stuff's happening with me and I'm like, or my daily routine is messed up by like a creator that I usually watch, or like some type of show or some type of game content that didn't come out that day or whatever, right? Like last week when Steve didn't come out, that sucked, or the week before that. I was like, man, that could have, made the week more fun at least. So on that end, I could see him feeling similarly to that, where it's like a big part of why he keeps doing it is because he knows how much people like it. And that's like a double-edged sort of like, it brings more pressure to it, but it also makes it more fulfilling and more interesting and fun for him to do. So I could see it being more of that, more like that than something that we should be like, oh, poor Sakurai.
Right.
Like working in the mines or whatever,
It's true. Yeah. Good. Good question. Cool. Hello, Cool. Asked, who do you think will get nominated / is the most likely to win Game of the Year? Between the games that have already been released, I'd say most deserving to win would be Half-Life Alyx, Animal Crossing New Horizons, and Ghost of Tsushima. Also, have you guys played / been playing Among Us? What do you think of the game?
Yes. I think Animal Crossing. I think Animal Crossing is the only game that took over the zeitgeist for a meaningful amount of time.
Yeah.
Like the probably the game that's like the most game of the year, like, that usually wins from like most of the outlets and stuff like that. The Last of Us, that really only held the zeitgeist for like 2 weeks, I want to say, if that. And it was for a negative reason. Like,
Right. Yeah.
where it was like more controversy than people just like unanimously being like, I love this game. So I could see Animal Crossing New Horizons being like the front runner for that, because it was like the game of at least half the year.
Yeah.
So
I think the only thing going against Animal Crossing is it's weird how like I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Just like the fact that it was such a big spike at the beginning and that so many people died off, to where it almost leaves a negative feeling because there is no completion.
But I don't even know if that's necessarily true. As far as like on the whole, because there's still I still see people all the time posting about Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
There's,
oh no, there's definitely
like,
still
like
people
freaking
playing
Joe
it,
Biden campaigning in Animal Crossing. It's definitely like, I think that that's usually the case for games that come out early, where it's like recency bias and it's like that game was last year's, sort of like almost, but I think that Animal Crossing will probably overcome that. I can't even imagine Ghost of Tsushima being a candidate, honestly, because it really doesn't do anything. Yeah,
interesting. I could definitely imagine it being a candidate. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about it. I know a lot of people were like, it's kind of like Breath of the Wild in these ways, and like those games just typically like are good candidates for game of the year type things. But yeah,
but that's kind of why I think that it's not a good candidate, because it's like it's like new. Breath of the Wild, and it's like Sekiro, and it's like, like it almost feels like a watered down version of a lot of different things combined. At least from what I saw and what I've experienced from it.
Yeah.
It doesn't really seem like the game of the year, like this either like dominated our consciousness, for the year, or it really broke new ground and stuff. It didn't do anything like that. I think The Last of Us is like more likely. I could see The Last of Us for the reason that it is more it's more like the type of games that we usually see win game of the year. I could see that. And I could see Animal Crossing New Horizons, because honestly, I think that it actually is the game of the year.
As far as like defining 2020, like that's the one. Except for obviously, really, it's Clubhouse Games. So good question. Clubhouse Games won. Also, have you guys been playing Among Us? A little, it's great.
I haven't played that much. I played a lot of it overall. I'd say, well, no, that's not true. It's a lie. I haven't played a lot, because I know people like Grimhain that freaking played every day. And it's like an appointment. It's like, so what time we played Among Us today? And I don't play.
Do you play with randos as well? Because I know I saw a little bit of
multiple. It's like I'm in so many and I don't even play it that much, but I'm in so many Among Us servers on Discord. It's ridiculous.
That's hilarious.
It's out of control.
I saw him and Mega Man play one time. I watched Mega Man stream.
Speaking of that, we're supposed to play Among Us with supporters and stuff. So if you're a Twitch supporter, things kind of
blew up for a while, but now
and stuff like that, we're gonna play it. So do that.
Let's get our schedules aligned.
Yeah, we gotta figure it out. But we'll do that.
We will.
For sure.
But yeah, it's fun. I mean, I
like it. It's fun.
I played it on stream with you that one time
and
for
I
like
murdered Parker.
You did.
I did not mean to.
I since have played only one time, and it was with me and Mitch and his girlfriend, and then two other friends. They were all in one location, and I was in another location. And then Ashley was an innocent bystander sitting next to me, just sort of helping / just having a good time. And yeah, it's a good time. So I think actually my birthday's coming up soon, and I think I'm just going to try to get together like 6 people and like have a, game night or something like that. But that'll definitely be one of the things. 'Cause like, it's just a fun party game and it's good.
Good game.
So there it is.
Good game.
Next question, man. We do spend so long in these questions.
We do. It's
funny.
That's what so I was telling them before. I was like, yeah, we
can just be a Q&A podcast.
Yeah.
But again, it's a favorite part. So like, there it is.
It's true.
JRM or Junior M, I don't know, said, I want to know your opinion on Mario Strikers. Will it ever be remade?
Remade? I don't think so. We might get like another entry in the series, but it would be kind of weird. Like, because at this point, it would like if they came out with another Mario Strikers game, I feel like it would be one of those things where like Mario Party, like Super Mario Party, how it's like where finally it's a return to form, we're back, you know. And I don't think that Mario Strikers is that kind of series, you know, where it's like it's. I don't want to say important enough, but for lack of a better term, important enough for them to like roll a game out like that with that type of messaging of like, remember this? It's back, you know.
Yeah.
Like
It depends a little too on like when they made the first Mario Strikers games. What was their purpose for it? Just like we want to do something else with Mario. I don't know, maybe soccer, or was it that they were seeing like, wow, soccer games are doing really well.
Yeah,
and so we should try maybe stick Mario into a soccer game. So if that's the case, and like, I don't know that, I mean, obviously FIFA's still doing great because, you know, just because it's FIFA and whatever. But it's possible too, for sure, that they could just be like, yeah, we don't
if
really
they were going to
care
do it
about
at
going
any
back
point,
to that IP.
it would have and should have been during the World Cup.
Yeah,
because
right.
me and Justin were talking about that, where it's like they freaking, it's right there, man. Like,
right there.
Just do it.
So, but it is next level games, and they finished Luigi's Mansion 3 last October. So, like, who knows what they're working on now?
Maybe that's
I'm sure
the next
something.
thing.
Yeah,
I
mean,
kind of doubt it though. I think that like Luigi's Mansion 3 was like either that is the thing that's going to make them. Well, there's two possibilities. I think both of them I think include Luigi's Mansion, and either it's that they become a Luigi's Mansion studio and that's just what they work on, or it's the thing where they are Luigi's Mansion studio and also they expand to work on other stuff. And maybe Mario, like they'll do like what Intelligent Systems does, where it's like sometimes they work on Fire Emblem, sometimes they work on freaking WarioWare, sometimes, you know, that's.
I mean, because they also they're behind Punch Out as well, right? And what else?
They did one Punch Out game. So,
oh yeah, right.
On the Wii, so
because there only has been but otherwise, they did Metroid Prime Federation Force.
Cool. Well, they helped with that. There were like other.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. I mean, as far as like first party Nintendo stuff, Super Mario Strikers Charged, Punch Out, Doc Lewis's Punch Out, and it's just the stuff we've already talked about. So I mean, they could expand to do other things or go back to some of their old things. I mean, it's hard to like just predict based off of that kind of thing, because who's to say Nintendo's like, we need a new Punch Out game or not?
I don't even see, but that's the thing. I don't even think that they operate like that. It very much so seems like for the Western Nintendo studios, or maybe even all of them, they're just like, this is what we want to make. And this is what we're make. So that's what we're making.
I think so. I mean, they probably come to Nintendo with a couple of pitches, you know, and Nintendo just.
But that's it with them. I don't even think they're not even first party.
No, they're not. Party. Yeah, they're second party.
So like even more so with them.
They could just not do a Nintendo thing again until Luigi's Mansion 3 in 4 years or something, you know?
Yeah.
So that said, I kind of like having Luigi's Mansions be more like spread out or whatever. Like, I don't need another new Luigi's Mansion for a while.
6 years.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of thing. Like it doesn't feel like because it's such a like feel based game, and like it's going to be a similar kind of location every time of like, you know, a little spoopy place and stuff that like if it gets annualized too much, I feel like it could lose some of its charm. But the Pagong says, who are your choices for the next Fighters Pass? It can be exact, or it can be opinion or expectation. Why did I say exact? Opinion or expectation?
I still want Pokemon Trainer too, dude. Give me freaking Galarian Pokemon Trainer. I don't care about any other character. See, I'm at the point where, and I'm like, I have an attitude with Smash Brothers where it's like, I don't care about what the character is. If it's a character that I like playing and they're a cool character, I'll play them, like Min Min. But I'm not expecting anybody. I'm not going to be disappointed by anybody not being there or anything like that. But the one character that I would like to see, and I'm definitely like, without a question, is like a Pokemon character like that. Like and people were like asking me like, would I want like Urshifu or something like that? I don't care if any other Pokemon happens in this game. I specifically want that format, because the Pokemon Trainer format just fits the IP better than literally any other Pokemon. I think Pokemon Trainer is more emblematic of Pokemon in Smash than Pikachu is.
Yeah.
Like that's how,
because you don't play as Pikachu in the world, like in the world of
Uh-huh.
Pokemon, you're a Pokemon trainer in the world of
Right.
Pokemon, you know? So like,
Yeah.
it's
And it's not
about you and your
Pikachu and
synergy
Friends,
with
the video game, you know,
Right.
like Pikachu became a thing after Pokemon, you know,
Yeah.
they were like, you are the chosen one, you know, you are the spokesman of us
It
all.
was going to
you
be
know?
Clefairy, but for some reason, yeah.
Right.
Right?
So,
Clefairy? I think, yeah. Clefairy was like
yeah,
one
it
of
was
the
Clefairy. Yeah, it was Clefairy.
so funny. What a like, man, alternate world. If
Yeah, like what is that universe
that or like so many
Yeah.
other things, it would be so interesting to. So, do you know Fringe, the TV show? It's a
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams
Oh
show.
well, no.
Okay.
I
In
thought
any
you were
case,
talking about Jordan.
oh, also Jordan, he's great. We love Jordan Fringe.
Yeah, that's true.
But the TV show Fringe, there's like a part of it where there's like parallel universe sort of thing where there's just a couple of things that are different. So for example, they never invented airplanes. They only have like zeppelins, like giant zeppelins flying around. So it's like, and they don't have ballpoint pens. They just never invented them. So it's
Oh
like
my God.
interesting little things that like aren't that different, but are a little different. So it'd be interesting to have some speculation on, yeah, like what would it be like if Clefairy was the man, you know, or any of the other things like that. Gengar, I think, was supposed to be as well, like one of the main guys. Like maybe Gengar was supposed to be the Charizard of the world, or it's crazy.
It's
So that.
wild, but yeah, like no, I think that like that would be the only because obviously the franchise that I care about the most in video games is Pokemon, as far as like you know individual IP. So that would be the character that I would want the most. That'd be dope. Expectation, I honestly don't know. There's characters like. Every time somebody asks me about that, I jokingly am like, just look at my freaking prediction video, because literally, like half
I think Monster
of that,
Hunter
if not more,
yeah,
have been confirmed. I said Banjo, we got Banjo. I said Min Min, we got Min Min. I said Minecraft Steve, we got Minecraft Steve. It happened several times where I'm like,
you said Monster Hunter on that one too, right?
Yeah,
or Bob did, I think, within your video.
Yeah. But that was like
that would
something
count,
I already
sure.
had on the list, and I sent I forget how I freaking like whenever I do a collab where it's like this is a video I want to do, but I think that somebody else's take on this sort of thing would be good, and I'll send them the list of like this is what I already have. If you want to talk about one of these, that's cool, but you can bring your own. That was like something that I already knew Bob wanted to talk about. I was like, well, this is on the list. If you want to talk about it, talk about it.
So I think there's slim chance that we don't get Monster Hunter, not even necessarily related to Monster Hunter Rise, just in general. I feel like, you know, and like I'm sure he's been on the back burner for a while.
I'd almost be more surprised if they do it around Monster Hunter Rise. Like I think that was probably just already in the cards, and they just so like that's how I think most of the marketing for these things, with maybe the exception of Dragon Quest, where it's like we want to put this character in, and it just so happens that a new game came out, you know. And as a matter of fact, come to think of it, I doubt that it was a thing that was like in planning with like, oh, Dragon Quest was happening, because Dragon Quest was announced for the Switch before Switch even was a thing that existed. So like it was just a thing that's like, we want a Dragon Quest character, and that's happening, so sure, why not?
Yeah, right. Know? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. My opinion one is Drago from Ring Fit Adventure.
Oh my
there you go. I think it would be very funny and a good silly one. Because like everybody expects, I feel like the Ring Fit
people
person
would be pissed.
That would
be one of the characters that people would be like, the fighter pass wasn't worth it. This is dumb. Sakurai hates us all. He killed my baby. That would definitely be one of those characters. Because like base level, any Nintendo character is going to make a lot of people mad. Because for whatever reason, the expectation has become that if the DLC character is not a third party character, it's not worth it for whatever reason. But I mean, I'd be down, but I think people would be mad. Because like on one angle, it's a Nintendo character. On another angle, it's not even a Nintendo character that matters in the grand scheme of things, you know? So like, that would be people so mad.
It would. I'm
Which
here
is
for
why
it.
I'm super down. I like making Smash Brothers.
What if
parties
though,
that.
like they put the Ring Fit protagonist, like just the Ring Fit, whatever character, but you legit have to. They're like, yeah, you can press the buttons, or you can squat.
Use yeah, like you use the attachment,
Yeah, I mean, because that's like, yeah, like for the Terry or whatever, you could do the original Fatal
like
Fury thing.
inputs.
So
Yeah, right.
just saying, if you really want to do some crunches, you
It's
can
true.
destroy Pokemon Trainer.
It's true.
There's that. Yeah, I don't really have that many expectations other than Monster Hunter seems reasonable and fun.
Just watch my freaking prediction videos.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dude, I'm a psychic.
Pretty much. But
Sakura
I'm dark
came
type,
to
so
my
I
house.
think I win.
Oh my god, my Sakura came to my house and he said, "Yo, dude, these are the characters."
Yep.
Don't tell anybody I told you, but I did. I'm sorry, I betrayed your trust.
Well, he'll forgive you. Questions from Twitter now. Crunchy Miku asks, do you guys think the Switch UI could get an update? Looking at the PS5, Switch needs something, otherwise it will be left in the Stone Age. Yeah, there's a picture with it that was like
Let's pull it up. We have the technology.
Go for it. I believe in you
to do this. Where did he?
I've believed in you many times this evening.
I don't know if
what
you
it's
have.
worth.
Where,
or at least I've said it.
Where have I even seen this? Where did I see this? Was this in Discord?
Oh no, it was Twitter on the FanatixFour post.
That's how I saw it.
That's
oh my god.
While you're pulling it up, I'll go ahead and say, if it hasn't happened now, I don't think so. Like it seems like there's been lots of opportunities to do things, and like who's to say? It would be cool to see something, but the main reason I don't think that the UI is going to get much updates at all, especially like themes and stuff. Like I would still love folders, but like themes and all that is just because I think they care more about it being snappy than about it looking, super, what's the word I'm looking for? Malleable and things. There it is. So yeah, that's what it looks like. If you're watching it on YouTube, which is the only way.
YouTube.com/directly to you. And if you're watching on YouTube, also go to podcast services. You can find all of them by going to anchor.fm/DTY.
Yeah, and there it is. But yeah, so
rate us on podcast services. Go to the thing and put a review, and
Yep,
there it is.
I think honestly, I think this looks really clean. This looks a lot cleaner than a lot of other ones I've seen before.
Yeah,
it's like there's some that I've seen that have just super messy, but
I think that this looks clean because it's literally just a regular UI, but with more like frills, and that's fine and everything, and I'm okay with that. But like, I don't think we need it. I prefer for the UI to be functional, and if this makes the UI even 0.5 seconds more sluggish, I don't want it.
I think that's the thing. Yeah. And Nintendo seems to feel the same way about that. So that's the real question is, does adding this background image and the theme and stuff, does that make the whole game or the whole thing load more slowly and make it so that it can't wake up from sleep just like that? And if so, I think Nintendo's just not going to.
Yeah, because they wanted to I think that maybe with the swap we can see something like this, because like they wanted to function like iPad and iPhones and stuff like that, where it's like you wake it up, you tap a thing, and it's on your screen. And iPhones and iPads have more pomp and circumstance than the Switch does, but they also have more like processing power for that. And they're more
that's like dedicated to those things and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
So it's snappy even if it has those animations and stuff like that. But as we've seen with the Wii U, like they don't really do snappy like pomp and circumstance very well. So I think that if it were to happen on the Switch, it'll probably not be done as well as it's currently being done. And if that's the case, I don't want it, especially since like I don't spend a lot of time on the UI looking at it. So
that said though, I mean, if they could get it to look like this, I'm down for that.
Yeah, if they can get it to look like this
and work fine,
still functions well, I'm down.
Especially, I mean, like the background image that's on there, it's it's just Breath of the Wild outlook.
Yeah, like it freaking like works like Netflix or whatever.
And it's like
when you're
it's
on
all
something
blurry and stuff. So if they make it to where all of the themes are blurry images, then those can be pretty like small files probably. Well, I don't know.
It depends. It depends on how they do it. Because like if it's a baked in thing, then yeah, it could be a super small file.
Yep.
But it would also look bad.
Yes, right.
So, but like if they do that in real time, and I'm sure. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
You've done this before. Like if they applied the Gaussian blur in real time,
yeah,
that's resource.
Yeah.
Not intensive per se. Like you don't need a freaking you don't need 32 gigabytes of DDR6 or anything like that, you know? But it definitely adds to the processing.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, like it's all budgeting. It's like they go into and even Nintendo, you know, of course, because they're a software company, no matter like how much people are like, they don't know what they like. Anyway, they all budgeted. They're like, what does this add to the time to load? You know, they're like, oh, this adds 0.3 seconds, not worth, you know, because like that all adds up. So if it doesn't add too much there, then I think that we could see something like this. But
so yeah, good question. Fingers crossed, you know, but like probably at this point seems like I'm not going to get my expectations up because it hasn't happened for so long that I don't expect that it will. Next question. This is from Max White Ghost. Oh, I see what you did there.
Whoa.
Yeah. Hey, Max. Who said, so I think this was in response to your spicy questions and spicy food questions question. I'm about to not know lots of words. So would you rather have a vindaloo knowing full well that any chunk of chicken could actually be a potato, or a korma knowing that you're missing out on all the spice but safe in the knowledge that every bite is going to be chicken and gravy? Also, lemon and herb or extra hot?
What is a vindaloo?
I think it sounds like Indian food to me, maybe.
I'm Googling it.
Vindaloo. I'm also Googling it. Yeah, definitely. It's a curry dish. And also though, funny to like me, the word gravy I've only ever associated with like pretty American foods. Korma, was that the other one? Korma. I mean, it all looks great for what it's worth. I'm super hungry now.
Dude,
for the question though, I'm gonna say vindaloo, because I like the surprise of not knowing if it's going to be chicken or potato, because I like both, and it'll be a little bit fun to be like, we're going to find out which is which.
What is this?
Yeah, that's my answer.
Okay, I Googled it.
And lemon and herbs for sure.
And let me see, what was it trying to actually be a potato? Yeah, I'm down, dude. I'm
very hungry now.
I'm down for the first thing, and I'm down for extra hot.
Okay. Extra hot Indian food for me, I have a hard time with. Because like different places, like the kind of hot in like Mexican food is different than the kind of hot in Indian. So like I had a friend, an Indian friend in high school, and I was hanging out with him and his mom, and she was like, I can eat the spiciest Indian food that there is, but then if you give me like a jalapeno or whatever, like something that's like, you know, kind of spicy.
It's kind of like heat.
Not really.
It's like heat. Yeah. It's like humid heat is different from dry heat.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. So that whole thing. Whereas like I mean, wasabi, I wouldn't say is spicy. That's not quite the right word, but like that kind of like spicy mustard or whatever that's like up in your, I love like any of that. So it can go as hard as it wants in that direction, and I'm down for it. But yeah, spicy Indian food, I have a hard time. Like,
it has base. It's like,
and it just keeps going. It does, exactly. Yeah, man alive. So, but now I'm really...
It's like oily almost, where it's like oil spreads.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good way of saying it for sure. As opposed to like being fire water. That's just like
a quick burst of like, there you go, quick smack.
Quick smack. Thanks, Max. You're a pal. Now on to Discord questions. This is where everybody can join, and Duncan will say some things that we'll get to here in a second. Cowboy asks, this will call back a few videos due to the absence. Would you like to see more Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC after Crown Tundra, or would you rather see a new game next, either a remake or new region? Glad to have you all back.
Okay, so
I have
this is a tiered question. So
you're going to be crying? Is that the...
Yes. Right. But no. I've never cried a day in my life. No. But no. If that had like I don't want to say repercussions, but if it had benefits, if they were like, if we do DLC, we can make the next game better, 1000% DLC. But if like it wasn't, if it's not going to make any real difference and they're going to do what they're going to do, then I'd rather them just stop with the DLC and do another game.
Yep.
So that's that. And then if
yeah.
it was a new game, well, you go.
No, yeah, I mean, I would probably say I agree. I think at this point they're in the mindset where I think they do want to make changes and improve stuff.
That's definitely what it feels
and
like.
So I think making DLC is making some improvements on what the base game is and stuff, but I would rather them keep working and then have the next thing come out that makes more changes and whatever.
Right.
And then because I also know I'm just less likely to go into DLC than I am into a full new game. So I think that said, like I'm guessing next year that we're gonna have a remake of a game, probably. Or they skip the year, but probably not. Probably they'd do a remake.
Which even if they do, I think remakes as far like, and that's what I was going to say. Like,
and there's some innovation in remakes too.
If they do a full new game, I mean, if they do a full new game, I would prefer for it to be a remake because that's effectively still DLC in the sense that they're able to make iterative change without any like real, I don't want to say real investment, but without any crazy investment in the development in the sense that it would detract from any big foundational changes in the future. So they're able to like make changes that they can apply to later in a way that won't impact development of a future thing in a negative way.
And I feel like they can test out stuff. With all, I agree. All that to say, I'm with you. So I do hope, the Diamond and Pearl remakes happen next year from, for what it's worth. But if not, like, let's go Johto or whatever, something different entirely. We'll see.
Even if that's the case, like if that, like my least wanted thing, and I'd be down for it, for what it's worth because I like Pokemon, but like my least wanted thing is freaking Gen 9 or whatever, right? Like I would rather them do, like in order of what I want, if this does what I think it would do or should do, is more DLC. If not that, then remakes of Sinnoh. If not that, let's go Johto. If not that, Gen 9.
Indeed. Next question from Sardi, who asks, did they talk about the Kalos DLC rumors? Also, does FanatixFour want, or what does FanatixFour want from it if it's true?
Did they talk? Oh, was this for the direct or whatever? Like the announcement? No.
I don't know. Oh, what?
From the announcement of the Crown Tundra stuff.
Oh, gotcha. Or maybe, Sardi, are you asking about they as Nintendo or they as us?
That's what I'm trying. Is this an older question from a podcast that we didn't do?
That's maybe. So, but I guess also, no, Nintendo didn't, if that's what you're asking. But did we talk? We haven't talked about it yet. But what do you want from Kalos DLC if that's true?
If they were to do it. I want to make a video about that. We're supposed to be making a video about that. Justin has a whole freaking server channel for a video like that.
He's made some real cool stuff.
Yeah,
there,
but
so go check that out.
From before we even got Gen 8, I wanted them to like integrate Kalos into the region in the same way that like the European experience is not. It's less about like, it's not like living in a state. It's like, or it almost is like living in a state where it's like if you live in Philly, you spend a lot of time in New York, most likely, like that sort of thing. I wanted it to be like that, where it's like you live in Galar, so you probably go to Kalos a lot,
Yep.
But
this is true.
It's not the case right now.
It is not. Duncan says, yo, 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 yo. Welcome back, boys.
Oh, he's making up the
yes. We missed y'all. Have you tried Spicy Pop? Like that gross Pepsi Fire Cinnamon Cola? If so, what's wrong with you? Is there a kind of spicy soda that might actually be palatable? #FanaticsFoods.
No.
Depends
I
on
think
what. Go. Okay, you first.
that's the thing. Like I'm fine with spicy food, but if I'm eating spicy food, I don't want to drink soda because it just makes it like worse for
It
some
does.
reason. It
Yeah.
just like it makes it I it's not a good time, dude.
Yep.
It's kind of like not a good time in the way that like alcohol is not a good time because like there's a lot of people like whenever I'm like I don't like alcohol, they're like, oh, you just can't freaking take it or whatever. But whenever I drink alcohol, like my sister, she's freaking down for like take a shot. Every time I'm over her house, she's like, take a shot, and like I'll just freaking take a shot, and I'm like, living my life, dude. Like I'm fine. It's not that big of a deal. And she like does the whole like you don't even go like take a shot. You know, because it's like it's not bad in that way. It's bad in the sense that it's gross.
Yeah, or it's just not good stuff. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
which is the same thing.
Yeah, but in the sense of like if it's kind of neutral, where it's like that's how I.
Oh yeah, like it's not something I would choose to do. But yeah. But no, this is actively gross. That's kind of like the like you don't even you say is the way that like spicy food with soda feels to me. Where it's like it's not like a thing of like it's not nasty. It's just intense.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it depends for the question. Like, and no, I haven't tried the Pepsi Fire Cinnamon Cola stuff.
Me either.
Don't know what thoughts I have about
I don't choose to purchase Pepsi or like any type of Cola. If it's there, I'll drink it. But I'm not gonna like go to a restaurant and be like, give me a Coca-Cola. You gotta be 42 to like Bob to like ask for Coca-Cola. It's
what?
Like, because it's like
weird.
Because it's like I want a little bit of sugar, but like not too much sugar, like that kind of thing. That's what I mean.
What an odd opinion. I mean, obviously that's your experience, so like interesting. But like definitely been
look, everybody I've ever seen ask for Coca-Cola at a restaurant is 42
so
either
funny.
Mind or in body.
I mean, so like Ashley will get a Diet Coke most times at a restaurant.
See proof. No, I'm joking.
There you go. She's 42. And like I'm just a cheapskate, so I just get water. But then every once in a while, I'm like, I'm gonna treat myself with the $2 that it takes to buy a Coke.
Oh my God.
Like what a weird thing. But in any case,
see,
as far
you know what? That just proved it. That proved it.
I know that's a pretty old mindset thing.
Only old people are like, I'm just gonna drink water. You know, like
either that or college students. That's the other. Like I'm just
the college student is going to get the soda and freaking be broke for the rest of the week.
Different kinds of college students, I guess, but yeah. Okay, so the actual question, spicy soda, I think, again, it depends on how you determine what spicy is. Because, like, have you had ginger beer before?
Yes.
It's like ginger ale, but, like, way gingerier. And there's some of those that are, like, I would say it's spicy for sure. Like, it's not, like, spicy. You know, it's just like it's
like spicy and like the way that like pepperonis are spicy, where it's like 6-year-olds are like, I don't like pepperonis, they're too spicy. Like,
so yeah, that's what I think. I think ginger beer is probably the closest that you can get without it just being dumb. There it is. Yeah. #FanatixFour. It's a good one, Duncan. Next question. Sardi asked, why is Steve top tier and why won't AJ main him over Min? #toxic mains.
I don't even main Min. First of all. Second of all, Sardi's always wrong. Sardi thinks that freaking Byleth is good and Byleth is garbage, dude. Bad. But ironically, I think Byleth is better than Steve. So there's that. Yeah. That I'm not gonna main Minecraft Steve over Min because he sucks and he's not that fun. And also I don't like him. Like I play Min a lot because she's really good, she's fun, and I like her as a character.
Right.
Only one of those things apply for Steve because he's not good. I don't care about him as a character, but he is fun.
Yeah.
So like that's like the type of character where it's like if I'm playing against somebody that's worse than me and I'm starting to feel bad, like in the scenario where I usually go to random, I'll pick Steve. you know. But even then, that's probably not going to happen super often because I could cheese them, and that's not fun either. You know, like fun for them anyway. It can be fun for me depending on the person.
I'm with you there. Yeah, there it is. I don't know. Steve is the best character. You heard it here first from AJ. Jfra170 _ some other stuff says, preface, this is John Francis. So I'm just going to say John Francis instead of the rest of it because, and then he says, JJFRA170 is my school username, but I've started using it for other stuff. And the FJ Time is my Twitch username. FJ Time is just FJ Time. FJ Time is just my initials rearranged. John Thomas Francis, FD. Podcast questions go, he says. Good preface. Thank you for the information. Number 1, how much wood could a Parker chuck if a Parker chuck could chuck wood? Look, Parker was looking fly in that flannel and I had to say something. Thank you very much. I'm a lumberjack. It's what I do. Number 2, in Breath of the Wild, for once, it seems Link is a no name. In other games, it feels like everyone knows Link or knows of Link. Could there have been a different night before Link with Triforce power?
I wouldn't say he's a no name. He's effectively a no name because he freaking went like full Avatar, you know. Like,
right. People knew of him back in the day, but they're like, you're not that same guy from 100 years ago. Exactly. But yeah, they don't recognize him. I mean, so there's definitely truth to that. But yeah, it's like people know of the legend of Link, but don't necessarily, they don't associate that with him being him, that kind of a thing.
So I would say no. Effectively, yes. Because to them, the person before him now was him before he disappeared.
Interesting.
But not in the sense that like it's not like freaking Avatar Roku or whatever was a thing. It was like, no, the hero that they know with Triforce power was the Link that we're playing as in Breath of the Wild in the current day or whatever, you know?
Yeah. Indeed. Zelda and number 3, Zelda 35. Theorize. Go. What are we going to see? How many remasters? Is Breath of the Wild 2 ever going to come out? Weeps. Okay, so for the 35th anniversary, not for specifically the like Zelda 35, Mario 35 thing, I guess. Okay, my honest guesses are Skyward Sword remake.
I agree. That'd be Ooh, you think it's gonna be enough to call it a remake?
Oh no, that was just the words I used.
Okay,
Skyward Sword HD.
Gotcha.
I think Breath of the Wild 2 will come out holiday season, and then something in between that, and that's where there's some wiggle room as far as what kinds of things that could be.
I think that I agree with the Breath of the Wild holiday season, but I don't know because things get delayed. I think it could very much so be a thing of like 3D World where they intended for the holiday, and then it gets pushed out to February 2022,
right?
Or something like that, or March. You know, theming, be thematic. Remember the last time we released a Zelda game, March? You know, that sort of thing. I think that we could possibly see like Mario 35 become Zelda 35.
Right. Yep.
Maybe that's why they were like until March 2021. You know? That could possibly be a thing. I think remasters wise, probably Skyward Sword. I could also see them bring over the Wii U ones, but if they do Skyward Sword, they're probably not going to do all 3 of them in one pack because why would they?
Yeah, right. Maybe a double pack of the other two.
That's what I was going to say. Maybe we get Wind Waker and Twilight Princess and then Skyward Sword separately.
Yep. That's what I think would be most likely as far as. And then goes.
Maybe we get like freaking Link to the Past in the same way that we got freaking Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
But that almost seems like too much.
That's what I was going to say. It does seem like too much to me because like for Mario games, like even you can have a lot of Mario games, but you can finish a lot of them really quick. And like, I don't know, it feels like you wouldn't get too much burnout from Mario games in the same way that you could get some fatigue of Zelda stuff if it was lots of it, because it's like a whole big adventure.
The game that people were like, this game's too short for $60 is 15 hours long.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And like I 100%ed Mario 64. Granted, like I know where a lot of the stuff is, and he's like less than 10 hours. So like, there's, I don't know. So yeah, all that to say, I don't think there would be too much stuff, but hopefully there's like little, like you said, Zelda 35, just cool little experiences that make it feel momentous and like a Zelda anniversary, without causing burnout or whatever. And question number 4, how spicy is your meme?
Oh, I got the spiciest memes, dude. That's what I do. I'm a memer, dude.
There it is.
You didn't answer the question, though.
Oh, it's too spicy to even talk about, I think is the real answer. It's wild. It's a lot. There's so much going on.
Nah, man. Parker got mild memes. Parker got dad memes. Dad memes are mild.
Yeah. I don't even. It's too true to be able to retort in any way. Grimhane asks several questions. Number 1, why is Rogue Company? That's it. That's the question.
Some people just like playing free shooters, you know?
Some people say, you can't believe Jamaica, we got a bobsled team. That's what I want you to remember.
That's
about
proof
that.
of the last statement. See
chocolate dipped pretzels or caramel dipped pretzels?
Chocolate, 1000% chocolate.
Yeah, I don't know that I've had caramel dipped pretzels.
And I'm not down. I don't even want it. Not even a little bit.
I love caramel, but yeah, I don't.
I like it in the presence of other things.
Yeah.
When it's by itself, it's too much.
I'm with you there. Yeah, definitely chocolate dipped pretzels. I'm not a giant. My mom loves pretzels, but I'm
not a giant pretzel guy.
Pretzels. If
I'm a moderately sized pretzel guy.
Yeah. I'm a 23-foot tall pretzel guy.
That's also a mild meme. But I gotta play to my audience. You know,
it's true.
That's how much of a memer I am, dude. I partake in the mild meme if my audience does as well.
Yep. Who is more wrong, Duncan or Max?
Duncan. I disagree with Duncan more than I do Max, I think.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, I think so. Probably.
I feel like
I've only really disagreed with Max in a way in a quantifiable way on like Pokemon, and that's pretty much it. And the Smash Brothers thing of him being like, I want Smash Brothers, like what you guys were talking about, like take the Smash Brothers. Those are really the only like solid disagreements that I can name with Max.
I need to figure out. By the way,
Duncan's always like, you're wrong about this and you're wrong about that. So I think Duncan's wrong.
I don't know that Duncan and I have had many differing opinions on things that I can remember at least. So Duncan, let me know if you can remember any. Whereas there's definitely been things that Max, I've seen you say on Twitter or whatever that I'm like, I definitely see where you're coming from, but I feel the opposite about it or something along those lines.
Parker's too PC, dude. Parker's too PC. What he actually means is you're stupid and he hates everything that you're
dumb. You're a big dumb. No, but I do want to find I hope that one of those can come up for the Questionable Takes podcast, which is everybody should go listen to that. There's one episode so far, unless there's a new one by the time this comes out. But that's Duncan's. Goodness gracious, that's Max's podcast, where they talk about
now Duncan needs to be on it.
He does.
Get Duncan on the podcast, Max.
You should do it. All right, there's that. We always ask, what are your thoughts or why is this? But hey, how are you guys doing?
Better.
I'm on the upswing for whatever that's worth. That's good. We both have had
I bought an iPhone. That's neat.
No, but I think we both appreciate too, like just, even without us getting into super details and stuff, like folks on Twitter, y'all are nice and kind. And when we say like, hey, we can't put up a video right now, like, that it's not just us being lazy or something. It's we got stuff going on. So that's, appreciate everybody's concern and love and whatnot. So thanks, Grimhane. How much did Microsoft pay Sardi to claim Steve is top tier? $3. And that's it, because, that's it.
$7.8. He
wasn't worth the billion part.
No, it was because they paid $7.8 million for Bethesda. So they were like, we don't have to pay him that much.
Yeah.
So we're going to stick to the theming.
Just that's all they pay. They only pay in increments of 7.8s.
Yeah, exactly. Because their keyboard's broken, so they can only put 7s, 8s, and 0s.
It's like Dexter in that Dexter's Lab where he can only say omelette du fromage.
Yeah.
It's that one.
When Mandark can only say freaking the ha ha ha. and that tone. Everything was me, choo, 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 choo.
Oh, I don't remember that episode.
Oh my God, it's freaking HBO Max, dude. But like everything around him in his house, like his freaking code for his lab is like beep 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 beep. Like everything is that cadence, and it's stupid, and I love it.
I remember. Did you watch? I assume you did. The Dexter's Lab movie? ? I guess it wasn't fully moved, but like the one where he goes back or he goes into the future and he gets like there's it's Dexter and like prehistoric Dexter and like future Dexter or whatever it is. I remember watching that and being like, this is the best thing of all time. But I like couldn't find it again for a while, and it was something that I for a brief period was convinced that I invented in my brain.
Yeah.
Yes. I was like, it's not real. Like it doesn't exist anywhere and I'm never going to find it again. Cause I've had stuff like that where like, I remember having a dream about Pokemon at one point where I glitched out of an area, got to some other area. And I was like, it really happened. I'm so sure of it.
Then the closest thing that happens to me like that, or used to, I guess, when I was a kid, is I would dream that I had something that I didn't have, and it like felt like I had this thing, and I like just got the thing. So it was like a freaking Dragon Ball Z action figure or something like that. I'm like, yo, I can't freaking wait to wake up and play this game. And I'm like, it's almost like I'm aware that I have it in the dream. Yeah. Whereas like I'm dreaming right now. I can't wait until I wake up so I can play with this thing in real life. Like
can't play with it in this dream though. Like just
exactly. And then I'll wake up and not have it and be disappointed, and then I like freaking hit up my dad or my mom like, can I have this thing? And they're like, yeah, and then I get it. But
that's what a happy ending.
It's just momentarily disappointing. Like waking up to not having a thing sucked, but then it's like I'm gonna ask for it now because now I know I want it.
I've definitely had two like dreams where I mean, it's like that Friends episode, if anybody's seen it, but like where somebody in my dream, like I have an argument with my dad or something like that. And I wake up and I'm just like grumpy at my dad for no good reason.
Oh my God.
And then like, I know that it's that. No, I mean like, yeah, it's only happened a couple of times, but I definitely remember it happening and then realizing like that was from a dream.
But no,
I need to get over that.
I've only been on the receiving end of that.
Oh no!
In the most stereotypical way, like exes and stuff like that, being like, "You did this in a dream, and I'm mad at you." I'm like, "Are you freaking kidding me, dude? Like, that's not even accurate to my character. I would never do something like that, sort of thing." Like to the point where like they would tell other people, and those people would be like, "What? Like that doesn't even sound like something AJ would do."
So
like I'm not an example of something that happened, but something similar to that. Jerry, Bob's friend Jerry, was mad that I didn't like freak out over the Charizard card. And I'm like, what? Like, and then I got in the thing and I heard about what he said after the fact, and I was like, Bob, now can you imagine me freaking out over literally anything in that way? You know, like I don't even think I'm capable. Like I'm emotive, and you know, and I freaking express myself and stuff like that. But I'm not the type of person that's like when Smash Brothers Ultimate got revealed, I was like, oh my God, you know, like I'm like dope.
Yeah,
dope, you know, like that's the extent
honestly, yeah, it makes it hard for me to watch people who do like reaction videos or something like that, because there's a part of me that like, because I'm just not wired that way, We're like, yeah, if Golden Sun got announced, a new Golden Sun got announced tomorrow,
I'd be like,
yes, Golden Sun.
Great.
We did it. Good job, team. And that's about it. But like, I'm really excited, but like, I'm not like going crazy. So watching somebody, it's hard for me, even though I know that like, I mean, for some of them, it's not genuine because some people like, you know, that's just a thing. Like it's a performance. That's fine. But then for other people, it definitely is genuine. And my brain can't fully comprehend and get behind it. So I'm always like, oh, okay, good for them. But a part of me is like, but are you being real? But nevertheless, I'm not excited about a new Golden Sun. That's all I'm saying. That's
true. Obviously, not excited even a little bit. No. But yeah, no.
Like, Green Man goes on to ask, how much salsa is too much salsa? We're gonna have different opinions about this, but not much of such of a thing is what I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah, no, we 100% have.
I knew that.
Were you there for me and Bob's discussion on this? about sauce. I mean, today Bob put up a supercut of the last Fall Guys stream that we did.
Right.
And
Yeah.
he was like, me and my husband AJ, we're not huge fans of sauce. And yes, that's true. Like, I like sauce, but like, it becomes too much sauce very fast. Very fast.
Again, that's okay.
And salsa is very similar, where it's like I'm down for salsa, dude, but I'm not like gonna freaking like annihilate the chip and salsa, you know.
Honestly, most of the reason that I'm what's the right word, conservative, I guess, with salsa on a chip is just for rationing it out, you know, like if I've got if it's at home,
I've got this many chips and this much sauce, like,
exactly. That where
for me it's like as soon as it gets to the point where it even slightly compromises the integrity of the chip, like as far as like, you know, its form, you know, it's like that's too much. It's too much. Like it gets even a little bit soggy. I'm out.
That's so funny. Yeah. Yeah. No. So I mean, there is a point for sure where there too much salsa is too much salsa, but I think yours and my thresholds are probably quite different.
1000%.
I love sauce, and I wish that I didn't. I was saying this just the other day. We got Taco Bell, and I had a Crunch Wrap.
I wish I didn't love sauce.
Like, the Crunch Wrap, like it's fine. It's got flavors. It's got good flavors in there. But like I was driving and eating it and wanted to put fire sauce all over it and have enough fire sauce in every bite. But like that's so much work while you're driving to do that, and it's like not safe to do it. So like I just gave up at some point, and just ate it normal, and I was like, I wish I wasn't missing the sauce right now and could just be happy with what this is. But like I just like having a little bit of red on most things. Like it doesn't necessarily.
That sounds like a serial killer.
But like some kind of hot sauce or some kind of like, I mean, barbecue sauce isn't red exactly, but you know, sort of brownish. So that's just where I'm at, man. I like sauce. It's good.
It's good.
Yeah. Last question from Grimhain. Among Us when? I must feed my addiction.
Grimhain has a problem. And I'm upset that he a while ago, was it the last podcast? It might have been the last podcast that he did. He like blamed me for it, for his addiction. I'm like, what? I streamed Among Us 2 times and it wasn't even my idea, it was Bob's.
But yeah, we'll find a time to do that.
I want to say next weekend, but I don't know.
Depending on when next, Yeah. I could probably do
because this weekend I think probably is going to be tough because I got to do OKB's their podcast, their Patreon podcast or whatever.
Nice.
And then also we're supposed to play video games, so this weekend's probably going to be a bad time, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But definitely,
yeah, I've got something going on Saturday morning. So we're doing some adoption stuffs Saturday morning next week, I think. But then once that's done, then I'm free for a while. And that'll be, I mean, it's good stuff to do, but also it's a lot of work. So, yeah, I'm down. Last question is from Mega Man. Asks, why is Minecraft so successful?
Because it's digital Lego blocks.
Yeah. Honestly, like, it is interesting. I'm trying to think. I mean, definitely the like creator culture, like content creator culture, and helped bring it.
And I don't
to,
even necessarily mean like in the sense of like people like building things. It's just
right.
Like it's a sandbox. It's like you do whatever you want. And like it's easy
and you don't have to
like,
clean it up.
Yeah, exactly. And it's easy to go on like many missions of like, this is what we're going to do. You know, like my goal is to build this kind of house and it doesn't have to look great, but it has to have these type of materials and you got to go here to do that. And it has this level of rarity and you got to fight the monsters to do the thing. You got to kill an ender dragon because that's the only way you can get X, Y, you know, like that sort of thing. It's easy to like turn like the main quest into filler.
You're right. I mean, like a Skyrim thing or, you know, that kind of a thing too, where like you end up getting distracted. But it's one of those games where like it is. It's like a make your own fun situation. But it's interesting that a make your own fun, obviously they made it simple enough, but also progressive enough or whatever that make your own fun is fun for so many people. But it's also like, I don't know, because that's the kind of thing like Breath of the Wild, for example, for casual players especially. I know it can feel like daunting because like it's not telling me a specific place to go. Like, and usually there is a specific place it could tell you to go, but it's not a linear game. We all know that.
But
and
I
for
would
some
say-
people, that's like intimidating.
Yeah, I think that's almost like the opposite, though, as far as like how approachable or not approachable it is. It's less. It's like a bell curve. It's like right in the middle where it's like you have enough experience to feel over encumbered by everything that's going on. It's too much. But if you're like just new enough where it's like you're just going to let your curiosity guide your experience, that is what those games are for. And the long and short of it, like, and once you get over that bell curve on the other side to where you realize that, and the game is for that, where it's like, I'm just gonna go and do things, and stuff's gonna happen. That's when the games, you know, like really dig their claws in.
Yeah, good question. I, on the other hand, have pretty much still never really played Minecraft, other than like a little bit on creative mode at a friend's house.
How dare you?
I don't know that creative mode is the best
origin game of the best Smash Brothers player to ever be implemented or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Microsoft told me to, but I was going to charge too many 7.8s, and they just couldn't do it.
Gotcha. So. They could. You were probably wanting to charge a 9 in there, and
and they were like,
couldn't handle it, dude.
Nope, it's like a Y2K situation all over again.
Yeah, dude. I mean, do you know what?
Glitch
you say that, but that's the whole reason why there's no freaking Windows 9 is because they didn't code a way for there to be Windows 9, and like as far as like how the system refers to it. So.
What?
That's the thing. Maybe
weird.
That theory is correct.
Yeah,
because it went straight from freaking Windows 7 to Windows or Windows 8 to Windows 10.
10, yeah.
So, yeah,
man, it's so funny to me too.
They're not able to put 9s in their.
There's so many things like that. Like people just skip 9, like iOS or whatever. Well, they didn't specifically skip 9, but not iOS. Sorry. I mean, like iPhone skipped 9, but then like just Mac OS has been stuck on 10 for so long, and they finally are moving.
Anymore,
I know. Look at that. What a time. But it took 20 years or something ridiculous. Not quite, but like almost.
Something like that. Yeah.
And it took us 20 years to finish all these Q&A questions because they were so good. We wanted to talk about one of them, but we did it. We have completed the task. We feel rewarded, and we hope that you do too. So yeah, thanks for listening to this podcast. If you want to, we told you all the ways you can support it. But you know,
midway through, I do other things. But yeah, rate, like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff. Tell your friends, dude. Say, yo, man, I listen to this Nintendo podcast, and they talk about freaking spicy foods.
Whoa!
Yeah, like
job. That was
true. It's true. Yep. The weird one, even with 2 weeks off. Like. But anyway, do other things. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being to this point. Let us know in the comments what's your favorite kind of orange. Let me know for yourself what that means.
Yep, that's right.
Bye.
Bye.